What's good? Chaotic Nation Nation Podcast here. Welcome back to Pokemon Sword and Shield. We are here with Voxnuztv doing some Sword and Shield wild encounter method for Rolt. So I'm going to change some things on the layout here real quick. Especially with Multi, if you want to check that out. And you also can vote on the prediction in the chat. It'll go away in about 7 or 8 minutes. It looks like it has about left. So if you want to get in on that, you can. Recommend it. That looks a little green to me. I'm going to try to make that more yellowy. I made it more green. It should be right. It's still green for me, but it's yellow in the background now. I was trying to get yellow, so. What's up, Tui? Welcome in. I bet. Don't lose. I bet on you to win. That's fair. Sure enough, man. I'm gonna mute myself here too. I don't know. Vox is gonna jump in a second, so I'm gonna remain muted until Vox tells me that they are ready. I am ready. I was just saying I was gonna stay muted until you were ready.
That's cool. It's cool. I'm all good. Yeah. I'm gonna.
All right.
Pretty sure.
I'm gonna get going.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fine.
We ironically picked a fantastic day to do this.
I can't believe it. I can't. It was made to be
The perfect weather, for this event.
It's the perfect storm. I was thinking to myself, like, this is meant to be like the Clash of Titans, right? Like, we're like two of the bigger.
We're probably the two highest scoring players.
Yeah, it's been insane. Yeah, so it's a Clash of Titans today. Hey King, thanks for coming by.
It's a Clash of Titans today. He says he's gonna kick my butt because I have terrible luck in this game.
I don't remember how good, like how well I do with sword and shield stuff. I've got my first route actually.
I cannot turn him up anymore, too. So that's just how it is.
No kicking butt. Oh, I've still got my Decidui as my lead. That's funny. I didn't even think about that. Congratulations, King, on making it to affiliate.
Let me know about that. I tried something, so let me know if that works for you. Congratulations on affiliate. Yeah, that's a big achievement. GG's.
Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, do you remember when you went affiliate?
Oh, that was like 3 months into when I started streaming, but I didn't actually become an affiliate until like a year later.
Oh, okay.
I was working at a job and I wasn't allowed to have any other sort of income. There's just their mandate. It's like, if you have time to do other stuff and get money, you can't, then you should be working for us and not doing anything else. Which is very weird. But a year later I'd left the job, and so I'm like, I have the requirement still to be affiliated, and I became an affiliate.
Right, got you. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I don't know if I turned you down too much then. I just realised that you were still muted, so I do apologise for that.
No.
But King, Chaos also says congratulations on hitting affiliate. Both very proud of you. Are the random encounters also routes as well, or is it just a really low possibility? Is that
I think they're there, but I don't remember. Actually, no, they're not there. I'm sure it's only overworld.
Okay, cool. Okay, that helps.
I actually I did a best team for this, so and Rolls was on it, so I had to kind of figure all that out, and luckily I remembered it.
Right, got you. That's so good. Yeah, you need that inside info. Routes ran away from me.
Yeah, it was the people.
How many shinies did you get yesterday in the end?
In yesterday's stream. So it's Monica. I got 4 fletchlings, 3 Frigirbacks, a random tarantula. I think that was it. So
okay, that's crazy.
It was like 9 or 10. So
did you location lock yourself? Are they all in the same location? Except for Freaky Backs, I guess.
Sort of, yeah. We were doing Lechonk on like Poco Path in the first route.
Yeah.
And then, so I got all the fletchlings in my first sandwich, and I was moving to South Area 1 so I could get into a different location, so I didn't get fletchlings as much.
Right.
And that's where I got the tarantula and then the rest of that stuff. And then we both had gotten 2 Lechonks at that point, and we're like, what else could we go hunt? And so we decided to go do Ridgebacks.
Got you. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna shout out the multi for you. So if you do want to watch both Chaos's stream and my stream, you can click on either of the links below. Did you say it was the Khadgar that allows you to chat in both at the same time?
Yeah. So the multi Twitch will have both screens up, but it'll have one chat at a time, and you have to tab between them. If you use Khadgar, it's a little bit smaller of a screen, but you have both chats right there, and all you have to do is move your mouse.
Cool.
So it's up to you what you want. That's why I give them both in mine. Also, you have it says my name in it in the command. Because it says Chaos is streaming.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh my god.
Coffee pasta.
You know what? Streamer can't read.
Fine.
It's copy pasta. It's fine. We can.
Yeah, I turned up the audio mixer settings, which I'm not a fan of doing because now I have to turn it back down later. But if I need to, just somebody to remind me at a later date.
Yeah, no worries. I'll try my best to remember for you.
Oh, we'll both forget. It's fine.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, like streamer brain is like an actual disease. I swear to God. I'm someone that has like I've done. Oh my God, how many years of studying have I done? So since high school. I mean, obviously it works slightly different in the UK.
Right. I know how it works. I'm good.
As an auto bruv, just for those that don't know, I did. Hang on, let me think. 4 years of college and 6 years of university.
Jeez,
and a year of a master's as well, with like some breaks in between there. And so like, I mean, you know, I wrote essays, you know, and I, you know, studied all kinds of stuff. But as soon as I hit stream, I'm just like, brain go blur right now. You know, it's just like, I don't know what's happened to like half my intelligence. It literally flies out the window as soon as I go live.
I'm studying right now, so I totally get it.
What are you studying?
Kind of a little bit of everything. Mostly teaching is what I'm going for.
Okay. Do you have a specific age range you're looking at?
Probably college or high school or something like that.
Nice.
I don't want like little kids. But
no.
I'll take adult kids.
Yeah. I mean, they're still kids, right? Yeah.
They're still kids.
My partner works in a school, and they are like young kids.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with it.
My current internship is like with some young kids, and I enjoy it, and I have a great time with them. But it's not something that I find myself particularly great at. I'm just kind of filling a vacancy right now in the company.
Yeah, I mean, it's experience for you at the end of the day, right?
Like, yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
A thing for you. I'm gonna be checking. Oh my God, maybe I'm gonna be checking these Radiant ones as well, just in case I get.
Yeah, I just got one too. So.
Is it Radiant or Brilliant? Oh my God.
It's Brilliant Aura, I think.
Yeah. What one's Radiant?
I feel like they're the same thing, but I think unless that's Radiant is what they're talking about with like the Terramons.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I feel like they use them interchangeably. I want to say it's a translation thing.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
I don't know.
Oh my God, it's so difficult to see these routes, like in
yes,
and
So I got off the bike and I'm just like running around.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. You're the one who wanted to do random encounters.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do Masuda anymore. It's too much.
What's up, Nico? Welcome in. Yeah, I totally get that. For me, like the first 6 to 9 months of this game, I did solely Masuda method hunts.
Right. On Sword and Shield?
Yeah.
Right, got you.
Because I'm like, I hadn't really shiny hunted before. I mean, unless you count Let's Go. I did Let's Go. So I wanted something that was going to be just as easy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Masuda is the lowest odds you can get in the game, and I have bad luck as it is, so I needed all the help I could get.
Oh no, feels bad.
And so I just like Masuda for the longest time. And then eventually, I think it was the first Camp Yoho I was a part of that I did something different.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I really enjoyed Camp Yoha. I'm really looking forward to it again.
Yep. I've had a blast doing any shiny hunting event, and that's why, like, when the former person who was running this stepped down and was looking for someone to take over, I'm like, you know, I don't really have the time to commit to it, but, you know, if nobody else is going to take it over, I don't want it to die, so.
Yeah.
No one else wanted it, so here we are.
You've done a good service. I've really enjoyed it. Oh my god, these are level 60?
Yes. Everything's level 60.
Oh, my Decidueye is 100, that's fine. I just realized I probably haven't got 500 encounters, so I'm going to have to start knocking them out.
I'm just not doing it. I don't feel like it's going to be worth it by the time by the time we knock out 500, we'll be at the end of the stream, so.
Yeah, true.
So just haven't been.
But, I mean, was it one of the things that was debunked, where the more you beat them, the more likely they are to turn up as a brilliant?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I remember like having to look into like all of it just before Camp Yoha, because it's like I hadn't done a shiny hunt. Well, actually, no, sorry. It was before that. It was do you know Shine Patrol?
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a community event. And in fact, that's how I started streaming. So
oh, cool.
he started this shiny hunt thing, and I started as one of the people who would send pictures in like from their phone. And again, so if anyone's watching and you want to take part, you can join the Discord and take a photo of your shiny that you get and the stream in the background, and you can pop that in. I think it's like community shinies or something.
It's a community shinies tab. What's up, Seth? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Your day's been good.
So I started going through and like doing that, and I got like a few shinies. And after like I think like 3 or 4 hours, I was like, you know what, this would be much more fun if like I was with other people and like other people could see, you know, and the reactions were like, you know, you could actually see a reaction rather than just a picture. So it just felt like a bit disconnected. And so within the space of like 10 to 15 minutes, I downloaded OBS, I got everything set up, and then I just hit live, and I was like, just go for it. And it just kind of went from there.
Nice. I hope you enjoyed it, Seth. I haven't asked you, but do you mind being called Seth, or do you like Zero, or do you want to be called Potch like Nico does? Let me know. I kind of had a similar beginning to shiny hunting, because I used to do it. I had a summer where I worked 2 jobs, and so I worked 6 to 2. I worked 6 to 2 usually. But sometimes I only worked 6 to 12, and my next job started at like 2:30. So I wouldn't go anywhere. I would just sit in the parking lot and bring my 3DS and shiny hunt in between shifts.
Okay.
Yeah. There's I went back. It was like I had to drive half an hour to get to work, and it was like, so I had to drive half an hour home, half an hour back. So by the time I got home, it wasn't really worth driving, and I'm like, I can bring my 3DS and shiny hunt.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
But I hate it.
So you do... I do. So you do... So you only work one job and the apprenticeship thing?
My apprenticeship is kind of quote unquote my job.
Right.
So I do that while I'm in school. So we don't... Our system works a little... I know you guys tend to, you know, you'll have a couple years of school and then you'll go into the field you want to work into. Like you'll take in a mentorship or apprenticeship program. Because I've studied a little bit of UK school for a project.
Yeah.
Okay. But for me, it's like I'm completing degrees, and as I'm going through, you know, I want to be able to get a job as soon as I graduate.
Yeah.
So I want to, and over here, it's like, you know, if you don't have any experience when you go to the field, you're not going to get a job.
Oh yeah, I can vouch for that, for sure.
So I'm like, I'm trying to get experience.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing. I mean, the problem for me was that because I did so many years of college, by the time I went to university, it was like well after like your average, average Joe that would go to university,
Right.
and so I was working full time at the same time as doing a full time degree, so I couldn't find like an apprenticeship or like a job that would allow me to be in the field because they required me to have either prior experience or volunteer, so work for free, which again I couldn't do, or have the degree already, and like those are my three options. So I was like, well, I can't tick any of those boxes, so I'm gonna have to wait until I finish the degree and then hope that I can get into work after that. And evidently I couldn't. So it was, oh my god, it was so painful.
Yeah, I feel like the corporate sphere of the world is just backwards. I mean, I understand you wanting to hire somebody who knows what they're doing, but also if you're not hiring people who have studied or are trying to get a job, they are never going to get experience to be able to get hired by anyone.
Exactly.
It's like you need to, like, even if I don't really agree with working for free, like doing volunteer work like that.
No,
you should get paid for it, like. But you're probably not. I mean, you shouldn't be making as much as somebody like with a degree, though. Like, but you should still get paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. There should be a system in place that allows you to, get into a career path, like apprenticeship schemes, but maybe more widely available to other people as well. Not just. So I think apprenticeships over here is like maybe 16 to like. I don't think I know anyone over the age of like 19 or 20 that's ever gone through an apprenticeship. And I was in like my late 20s when I was at university.
Right.
So it's crazy, but it is what it is. And like every year I was going through for like the museum side of it. It was like, oh, you need a degree to, get into like junior curatorship. So I was like, okay, I'll go for my degree, and then did my degree, and they're like, oh yeah, no, you need a master's. I was like, okay, I'll do a master's. It's my first year, and they're like, oh, you need a PhD. I was like, I don't think I can afford a PhD. And I looked into it, and they're like, you can only work a maximum of something like 16 hours a month. And I was like, oh, how can I afford to like have a roof over my head if I can only work 16 hours a month?
You don't, It's
no, exactly. So I can't really turn up to work after like sleeping literally on the streets. Yeah, it's crazy. I did apply for a fellowship at the Getty Museum in Malibu.
okay.
And that was just before. That was like 2 years before COVID. Oh no, wait, it might have been a little bit before then. It was just before, and I'll try not to get too political with it, but it was just before Trump came into office. So that's just like put like a marker of like the timeline when it was, more than anything regarding that. Otherwise, it could be a very long stream or a very short stream. So I applied for it through a very weird set of circumstances, and then I got rejected, and then Trump came into office, and then shortly after that, I think it was only like a year or two, maybe at most, COVID came into play. And so I was thinking, well, could I
Thank you for the gifted sub, Nico. I appreciate it. Enjoy your sub,
imagine
Seth.
living in America, like being so far away from family, with a health system that was like completely different, and obviously everything that's happened after that. I said I wasn't going to get too political. I think I've kind of like trod on my own foot then. So long story short, I was kind of glad like I didn't get the placement, because I don't know how I would have coped with like living situations, because I would have got paid through the through Getty,
Right.
but if they closed down due to the COVID regulations, then I wouldn't have been getting an income, and then wouldn't have been able to afford the place I was living at, etc., etc. And then I don't know if I'd have been able to get home. So there was like so much to like unravel with it that I was like, oh, it was just better, like
It worked
something
out.
for a reason, right?
Yeah. There is something. There is definitely something looking out for you there.
Yeah, exactly. I'd also,
Come back.
You got rats running away from you.
Yes.
Oh no. I'd also booked a flight to Australia about a month before COVID hit. Obviously, like my entire situation had changed after not getting the fellowship, so I was gonna live out in Australia for like 6 to 8 months.
Sure.
I've got relatives over there, and then I was gonna camp and then stay there, Airbnb, and then just like go between the two. And then COVID hit, and then I had to obviously get my money back on flights and all of that stuff to deal with. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like that was another situation where I could have just ended up in Australia and
just been stuck there.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know what would have happened. So I feel like I've dodged a bullet twice with COVID.
Pretty good. They chat is saying that we're gonna find the shiny within an hour, and I'm like, yeah. It's Sword and Shield. If this was Legends Arceus, I would say 30 minutes. But this is Sword and Shield. I'll be lucky to find a shiny today.
Yeah, this is like long form shiny hunting, right? I mean, personally, I've only got half an hour before the weather changes. I guess I can set the day back.
You could.
And then it should be foggy. Is that right?
Yeah, it would still be foggy. Yeah. I also refreshed the prediction if anyone wants to get in on it, because it didn't have. It was one-sided, so it needed to be reset anyway.
No one believed in me.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You know, it just shows that my chat doesn't have any doubters. So. I mean, I would tell you to if you want to win, you know, I would bid on Vox because I have no luck in this game. Looks at Pawniard.
Or I'll put it to your chat then, right? So this is based in the Gala region, which is UK based. I am a UK based streamer, so this is my stomping ground, and I have to get a W in my own ground. This is a home win, is what I have to say about that.
That's fair enough. Does that mean we need to do like black and white so that way I can have my home ground?
Yeah, true.
I guess you could technically say Alola too. You know, that's still US.
You know what? I've never played Alola. I never played
it. They're good games if you can get past Tutorial Island.
Right.
But that 3 hours at the beginning where it's just tutorial is kind of killer for anyone playing the game.
Yeah, oh my god, that's grueling. I know Pokemon like to hold your hand through a game most of the time, but that's
that was a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think they've learned their lesson though.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like they've. I didn't really notice it was Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, like the school was kind of there to teach you how to play.
Yeah, but that was but besides that half an hour unskippable cutscene, besides that, the rest of it was not mandatory, right? Like the learning stuff and going to.
I didn't think you had to take any of the classes at all.
It was only to get the Meowth, right?
Yeah, I think so. Come back, dang you! That was the shiny. We just failed it. It just ran away.
Oh no, it didn't. No, it didn't. That wasn't the one. Couldn't have been.
I did. I was trying to. How do I want to phrase this? We were doing a marathon the first 4 days of the event, the first 4 days of the game, and I was shiny hunting, and so I also was doing. I'm currently doing a playthrough of Scarlet where I surprise traded everything and did a Nuzlocke with those Pokemon. But I was trying not to play ahead, but I also wanted to hang out with the people I was doing the marathon with. So I ended up they were all playing the game and I couldn't play because I was recording it.
No.
And so I'm like, I guess I'll do the school stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I sat there and did like half the classwork because I had nothing else to do.
I mean, it was the worst thing, personally, to be like, okay, I'm not streaming until like such and such time, but I also want to play the game. What do I do? And so I mean, the only thing I did was go around and do terror raids for like
Fair enough.
Possible. But yeah, doing the school as well definitely was like, it was just like stuff to kill time as opposed to because I wanted to do these things.
I kind of like looking into the lore and stuff of Pokemon games when they come out. So a lot, especially like the history class, it has so much lore in it that I just enjoyed. I enjoyed doing the class, even though it was, you know, a section that many people just skipped over.
Oh no, I mean I paid attention in class, but it was, yeah, I get it. It's so has anyone worked out like has anyone worked out the alphabet? That sounds like it's such a stupid phrase, but fuck it. All right, my name's Vox, and I say stupid stuff. So yeah, has the like alphabet been like figured out and like deciphered for like the signs and stuff like that around the game?
I don't think so. I honestly think it's just in Japanese, but I don't know. I haven't looked at that specifically.
Yeah, I mean it didn't look similar to kanji from like what I could work out, but I mean I could be wrong. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. Be interesting to see if there is anything different or anything, you know, anything hidden away.
I think they have like their own. They use like, it's like a pseudo Japanese. It's not really Japanese, but it like looks like some of the characters that you would see.
Right.
And they don't really have names on it or anything. It's just kind of characters in the background, so it looks like a sign. But I have no idea. I could be completely wrong on that.
Yeah, yeah, you could be completely right as well. I've never looked into it myself, so I'll have to actually do my research one day.
Do you need anything? Okay. Well, at least you didn't say yell, because I would yell at you if if you said yell. Come back, dang you. Stop running away from me.
Oh my god, it's gonna be such a nightmare today, isn't it? Let's see. Have I got any? Have I got any?
Well, they like to juke you too. Like you can't just.
Oh, honestly.
You can't just run around willy nilly. They'll go all over the place.
Yeah, my time in the field is over. Like I can't do that anymore.
Oh yeah. Okay, fair. Why are you wearing? I guess that makes sense. I know why you're wearing earbuds. You're taking some of my advice. That's like a first ever. Hope it goes well for you.
It's a brilliant. Oh, it was a Rouse. Oh, we'll take some watts that we'll never use.
Did you ever get that shiny you were doing with the camp presets?
No. I gave up on that long. Yeah, no, that was a one and done. I wasn't gonna go back and try that.
I thought the same. I think maybe the same about this, because like I'd rather hunt it in, I think, Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I get that. I probably should have been fine doing it in Scarlet and Violet, but it was just nice to mix it up. Like,
yeah. Well, I was nervous after the first day because I'd used so much of my Herba Mystica. And I'm like, oh crap, if I'm just doing Scarlet and Violet, there's no time, because I have a multi every single day.
Yeah,
so I don't have time to do the grinding to get the herbs back.
Yeah. I ran out, like, Salty was the first thing I ran out of, which for my cat is surprising, probably. It was, so I did the Dragon one on, like, day 2, and that was double Salty, so then I just ran out. That was me done. I was like, well, again, like, I'm going to be streaming every day, but I don't want to be streaming terror raids for, like, 3 or 4 hours.
Right. I spent some time a couple days ago doing some resetting a den because it gave me 4 herbs per encounter. So
Okay.
I probably did that 10 times and got 40 herbs from it. So worked out for me, and I caught back up. So I'm not worried about it as much anymore. But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to do that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's true. True. Yeah, this is nice because it's a bit more of a, I guess, a bit more of an even playing field.
The way I looked at it is I'm stopping you from getting a bunch of points, so I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you know, you're the quarterback kneeling and just killing time at this point.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Because everyone, I keep getting people coming to my chat from like Team Violet specifically going nerf chaos, and I'm like, look, if we nerf me, like that's our team, that's my team gone. Like I have 50% of our points.
That's crazy.
Like if I stop, then the rest of the team ain't picking it up.
I have no idea how many points I've got for Violet so far, but could do with the luck today. That's the main thing.
Well, the first couple of days you were the only points for.
Honestly, yeah, I know. I couldn't believe
No one
it.
hunted.
I was looking at the scoreboard and I was like, oh, there's like 0 points so far. Well, I don't start stream for like another 5 hours. I'm sure someone's gonna have some points by then.
Nope.
And then the 5 hours passed. Yeah, it was just like nothing. I was like, okay, well, I think I might have to put a sandwich on, like just to bump up the numbers a little bit.
I think part of it was that the first day of the event was New Year's Day, and everyone was kind of, you know, it's a holiday, so people are spending time with their family or getting over their drunkenness of the previous night. So
Yeah.
no one really wanted to stream, and then it was the beginning of the week, so you know people are going back to work and not able to stream as much. So now that we're back in the first weekend, the first full weekend, you're gonna start seeing everybody who hasn't been hunting getting in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be fire. Hopefully we'll see like some big numbers turn up.
I really wanted to. This was only a week before I took over, and I wanted to make it accessible to more people. And I know that like people I watch and hang out with that are part of the event, I know they only really can stream like certain days. Either that's sometimes only weekdays, sometimes only 3 times a week, sometimes only the weekend. And in order to get them to be able to be a part of the event, I kind of had to give it more time. So I'm like, hey, what do you guys want to do 2 weeks? And they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Do 2 weeks.
Up a little bit.
It's like I don't have classes until, you know, the week after, so I'm good.
Normally I only stream 5 days a week, but I wanted to try and do like every day, not just for like the sake of getting points, but just like constantly be able to like either lurk in other people's streams as well, or chat with people, like at least be open to be able to chat with other people.
I like doing these events because it gives me the chance to multi with people that I haven't worked with before and hang out with people I wouldn't normally. Because when you sign up for the event, you're essentially saying, hey, I'm open to anybody being like, hey, you want to multi? And if I have the time, my answer is probably yes.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, it's just a time constraint. It's just I know I can't stream until 11 p.m. like UK time. And I know I have to stop streaming by 2 a.m. on a weekday. So I don't want to turn around and be like, I'm up for doing a multi, but I can only do it for this like 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's people, there'd be somebody who might have that slot, and
yeah, I mean, I don't know if there
someone.
is a minimum.
I mean, the worst case scenario, go live and say, hey, I'm on live if anyone wants to do an impromptu multi.
Yeah. So, I mean, for those that don't know the rules for a multi, and let's pretend like I'm not one of those people, would you like to help me explain the points or how a winner is decided in a multi?
In a race, so Vox's team's Violet and I'm Team Scarlet. So in this specific multi, we're doing a versus because we're competing against each other to get more points. So honestly, that's up to us to decide how we want to do it. Some people, when you do a multi versus race, is you get whoever has more shinies. Some people, it's specifically for this event, it's like if we have a certain target, whoever gets the most of the target. Some people do a point system where there's a specific target. Like for us, it would be Ralts, and it's worth more points than just any other Pokemon you would find. So I would say it's probably whoever finds the most shinies, because you know this game is not going to be very nice to us, I feel like. So
yeah, we set ourselves up to fail, haven't we?
Yeah. I also like for these kind of multis, and you know, if we want to keep going for as long as possible, it's not like if we do first to get those shiny rolls, you know, we kind of can end as soon as somebody finds it. And that can be an hour, that could be, you know, 5 hours or something. Who knows? Yeah,
or it could be a 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make it even worse and be like male routes only.
Jeez. You have to get you have to get one that can be a Glade.
Yeah. That would be funny, but let's not.
I mean, if that was the case, I'm using Cute Charm.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Are these routes? They are. Oh my god, they're just like blending in.
I mean, you gotta look for the little pink sticking out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay. I'm gonna let that one just fly. I let the first one fly. Yeah, it's gonna be weird, like not looking out for like Overworld Chinese. That's definitely like something I'm mentally adjusting to again.
I think for some reason I latched onto it as soon as I started. I think it's because stream I did like 2 encounters just to get my head around Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
But also like I hadn't. Go ahead.
Go on.
Nope, you go ahead. I said go ahead first.
I was in the map and I went to zoom in and I was like, what? Why is it not letting me zoom in? I need to zoom in to like the location, and I realized I'm not in Scarlet and Violet now.
Yep. Yeah. I completely forgot what I was gonna say now.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh no. It's because I was before last Camp Yoha, I had been hunting a lot in Sword and Shield because I was trying to get, you know, the last few shinies I wanted to grab before Scarlet and Violet came out. So yeah. I'd been hunting in the game for a while and I was doing random encounters. So I think it's still kind of hardwired in my brain since it's only really been a month.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But I did like, I was doing, what was it? Milcery in the other part of the wild area, closer to Hammerlock.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's I think I missuited that for Yoha.
I did that. I missuited it for Yoha too, after I couldn't get it in the wild.
Yes.
I eventually got one, so at least I have it.
Nice.
Not the way I wanted to get it.
No, exactly. It is nicer to, or I mean, okay, so I find it more rewarding to get one in the wild rather than through Masuda. I don't know if that's going to change with time over Scarlet and Violet now. Just because it is Overworld Chinese as opposed to Encounter Chinese. I don't know if that like has particularly changed.
I think I would say that the Masuda method is more rewarding for me because doing both, like, to get the odds in Masuda is like you're taking, you know, like 8 hours to get the odds. Mm-hmm. Whereas like a wild encounter, you're essentially, as soon as you put on a sandwich, you're expecting a shiny to show up. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, is it gonna flip now that the games have switched over? I prefer doing the wild hunts. I think I've always have. Part of it is I started really shiny hunting in Let's Go, and so I'm used to hunting that way and seeing the Pokemon
with the chain.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, so before before Sword and Shield, the last game I played was Ruby Sapphire.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it was like I was a long time away.
So have you not played anything from Gen 4 to Gen 7 at that point?
When I started streaming, I started doing a shiny Nuzlocke in leaf green, and got stuck on leaf green, and I think I'm going to be there for a long time because shinies take a long time to get in leaf green.
1,000 is not good.
No, it took me 14,000 resets to get a shiny Pidgey. Sorry, random encounters for a shiny Pidgey, and then I KO'd it.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that was some. Oh no, I didn't KO it. It KO'd my Bulbasaur, and so I blacked out and then lost the encounter and lost my starter, so I had no Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was insane. I could have cried. I nearly did.
I like to get as low as possible because I like to always say I am a full odds shiny hunter regardless of what game I'm playing and regardless of the method I'm doing, because it always goes to full odds.
Yeah, you might, like, you're already signing up for the worst, right?
Yeah, I don't need it. I was doing a run through of Sword and Shield, getting a shiny on every route, and I probably put 500 hours into the game and didn't even beat the first gym.
That's insane. That's crazy.
It was all my hunts, but I did I fished Choodle and Moto Stoke, and that took 200 encounters. But every single other one was at least 10,000 encounters. And mind you, the odds are 1 in 4,000.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, my longest one went 3 times odds. So it was not a fun time.
I know one other streamer who took. He was doing a randomizer, and his random starter, or the one that he wanted, was Volcarona.
Okay.
And he did 76,000 resets to get the Volcarona.
What game was that in?
That
Sword and Shield.
In Black and White, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was not a good time.
No thanks. I'm not for the really long hunts. I'm doing full odds the last day of the event just because I kind of want to be funny and do it again. But I also know I'm getting myself in for a stream that I'm not going to find a shiny.
Yeah. True.
So.
I can't remember. I assume ROMs aren't allowed.
No, ROMs are not allowed.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No ROMs, no odd egg encounters in Crystal, no Lake of Rage Gyarados, because that's just a guaranteed shiny.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
But with ROMs, you can manipulate the odds, and there's no way of really showing that unless you see the file.
Yeah.
So you can't manage it as well.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I never knew like the reasoning behind it, so that's cool that you've cleared that up for me.
I did a.
I would have done it.
I mean, that's fair. I did a. You've seen Jimmy around, so yeah, Jimmy and I did a shiny cage lock in Black and White, and we manipulated the odds to 1 in 256. So, because that was the only way we're gonna get shinies in it. We didn't even get through the second badge and already got rid of the shiny part of that. It was taking way too long.
Yeah,
but
it becomes a case of like just grinding until it happens at that point, and it doesn't become. I don't know. Maybe it loses like a bit of the fun it was gonna have.
It did, yeah, a lot. Well, we did the whole. We were doing it live in person, so I only was there for a week, and in order to. By the end of our first day of recording, we had barely beat the first gym. And keep in mind, we started like 8 a.m. and went to like 8 p.m. We did like a whole 12 hours of playing the game and barely beat the first gym in the game. We're like, yeah, we're either keeping it shiny or we're not finishing it and not finishing in person, or it's just going to be a regular cage lock and we'll get rid of the shiny part.
Yeah, that sounds like pain.
And so I learned from that when I did a color lock in Alpha Sapphire. And so in order to get, my color was blue, but in order to get different kinds of Pokemon that weren't just water types, I made the shiny odds 1 in 10. so I could find shinies more easily.
Okay.
And then I could have like different things because I ended up with like I'm trying to think of, I got a, what did I get shiny that was weird color?
What generation are we talking?
That was Gen 6. It was Oras. So trying to think of what my team was at the end of it, and I can't remember. I remember the blue Pokemon, but I don't remember anything else. I know I had a Keldeo and I know I had a Regice, but I don't remember anything else I had.
Oh, I haven't enabled streamer.
Okay.
Let's do that. I should be able to do that in here still, right?
Yeah. I mean that the ROM rule is not one of mine. It was something that kind of came up, was already there before I joined.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't. The only thing I really changed was I made the event a week longer, and I added targets to the game because I'd done Camp Yoha, and I'll be honest, that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, targets is so good.
But I'm like, you know, some people, if you're like me, I don't know what I want to hunt anymore, and so having a list of Pokemon that I can hunt for and are worth more points, you know, gives me something specific to go for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think I can't work out how to do it again. I think for me, what I've been working on is targets. I think I did 2 targets and then outbreaks. So I do like a hunt for a target and then just finish it with outbreaks and then go back to a target.
That's fair.
And having Gumi as one of the targets is like great. So I was like, yeah, I want to spend a sandwich getting shiny Gumi. Like
everybody's hunting it. Everybody's hunting it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good shiny. I don't blame it.
Yeah. I was really glad to get 3 in one sandwich and get them marked at the same time.
Ooh, yeah.
As well as phasing with a Dreepy. I was happy with that because I've been hunting Dreepy before anyway.
I mean, you found a guy. Nice.
But yeah, so after that, I've just literally just been phasing while doing outbreaks. But it makes my life easier because then you see like 6 outbreaks, and that's essentially like having 6 targets at that point.
Yeah, I had to be. I'll be honest. I made the list of the targets. My mods didn't give much input on that. They're like, yeah, it's fine. But I was trying to be as diverse as possible. So because you can get points in any game you want to play. So I'm like, I have to get a Pokemon that's in every single game, and I want to make some cool hunts that people can do. So I was trying to balance around that, and then obviously like forms were something I considered because, you know, if you want to hunt, a lot of them are Hisuian forms, so I know a lot of people might want to go back to Arceus and play a little bit. So there were specific things you could go for in that. But really, I was just trying to cover all 18 typings, which we have covered, every generation with some cool hunts. Like specifically, I chose Voltorb because people would go into Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or Gold and Silver and Crystal, and go to the Rocket Hideout and do the Electrode.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that could be a cool hunt.
Oh yeah, I would have loved to have done that if I had the means to.
Yeah, I know. I don't have the means to do it either. I'm hunting in Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, or Legends Arceus, and I had one hunt that we were looking at BDSP, and I'm like, I don't really want to move because I'm hunting Shaman in that game, and I don't want to have to go all the way back to Shaman. So I'm like, if you can pick something else, that'd be great. It's like the one game I will say no to.
Yeah. Oh my god. So when I did, what was I doing? I think it was during the Shine Patrol one. I don't think it was during Camp Yoha, but I could be wrong. I ended up doing a 24-hour stream.
Oh my gosh.
I said, oh wait, hang on. This is before I hit affiliate, so that was definitely Shine Patrol's one, which I can't remember. I think it's just called like the Gala Shiny Showdown, maybe.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it rings a bell. Maybe it wasn't. Was it Gala? I can't remember.
I know Tiller did something like the Galar. It was a race or something, and you went to every route and hunted. Maybe that was it.
No, it wasn't that event. I don't think. Pass. I'm gonna say pass on that one. All I remember is I was doing a 24-hour stream, and I decided at one point because I was like really tired, I was falling asleep. So I'd done like my 9 to 5 before that as well,
Oh no.
and so I did my 9 to 5. I went out, walked the dog, came back, had food, started stream, and yeah, I think I was like 7 or 8 hours in. And I was like, oh, I'll just go over to like BDSP and I will try and get a shiny Houndor because it was like one of the targets for some reason. And then I realized, oh no, I need to. That route is gone for sure. No, yes, yeah, it's gone. And so I was like, oh, I need a Magma or a Magmortar which has Flame Body, which I had to transfer from Legends, and I needed a Ditto which I had to transfer from Sword and Shield both into BDSP and then try Masuda, because then I realized I hadn't completed the game. So I also had to transfer over a Hundoom from I caught the Hundoom from the underground, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
I had a Hundoom in the underground which I had to hunt for, catch a Ditto and trade that across, catch a Magmortar and trade that across, and then Masuda hunt in BDSP, which was the most painstaking process because I'd never dealt with Masuda in like a previous generation before.
Right.
So compared to like how Sword and Shield was for Masuda, and obviously now Scarlet and Violet, it's even I think it's even easier to do Masuda and Scarlet and Violet now. Or I find it like less time consuming. That I was getting so angry. I was like so annoyed of how difficult and like with the movement of the chibi characters, I just wasn't enjoying myself. And I got like 4 hours in. I was like, I'm never playing BDSP again. I don't even care about the save at this point. I just put it away and just never touched it again.
I never jumped into Masuda in BDSP because the shiny charm doesn't affect it, I think. Or maybe it's the only thing the shiny charm affects or something. I don't remember. But either way, I'm like, if I'm going to Masuda, I can do it in Sword and Shield. And, you know, there's plenty of things I haven't gone for yet that I can go for. So, that would be interest. I've only done a couple of hunts in that. I did. I tried the radar and I did. What did I do? I did Tyrogue via radar.
Okay.
And I did Swablu via radar because that was for Camp Yoha. And then I was working on Shaman, but I never have gone back to it yet. So once I go back to it, it'll be there. And part of me is like, I want to get I wanted to get a second Switch, and I wanted to do like an easier hunt in one copy, and then do like a longer full odds reset in the other copy. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Once I get a capture card, I can go back to some of those other things, and I have my my OLED now, so.
Yeah. We'll talk about the OLED before, won't we?
Yep. I still am not using it. I have it right here. It's not what I'm currently streaming on. I haven't switched anything over yet.
Oh no.
The only game I have on it is my Violet copy.
Oh, okay. I don't think you can transfer over Pokemon save files, if I remember correctly.
You can transfer like profiles over. So I transferred my profile over, but I didn't transfer any game save data to it. So at some point when I decide to replay stuff again, you know, I'll probably send that file over to my OLED and then restart it on my other Switch.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could. What was I trying to do? I was trying to play Sword and Shield on my OLED, and then on my like profile, but yeah, none of the games were coming over, and when I looked it up, it just looked like I couldn't bring like the Pokemon over for some reason. It just like start a new save.
There's either something to do. I haven't tried to do any of that yet, so I'll have to look into it a bit more. But I think you can either take out your SD card and put it in, or
I tried the SD card as well. Yeah.
There's some specific way. I'd have to look at it again, but I haven't really been interested in it yet because I'm not ready to transfer stuff over.
Okay. Yeah, if you do find out though, yeah, let me know.
I
'Cause,
will.
everywhere I looked was just everywhere was doubting. Right.
I'm sure there has to be some way to do it. Like, it's like when you get a new computer, like you want to transfer all your files over. There's got to be a way to put that on the new system.
Yeah, I mean that's like exactly what I thought. I think I went on like Reddit forums that would say, and yeah, I mean, lambast me for that one, or you know, I didn't want to go on Reddit as much as the next person. And yeah, I think they were saying like, oh, it's so people don't clone their saves and then sell on like their shinies or their completed saves or whatever.
I would be surprised if they even thought about doing that. Like,
yeah, I mean, it'd be the first time that they've tried to stop like spoofers or you know anything along those lines. But I know how like anti-ROM they are already, so it wouldn't surprise me.
it's also like, you know, I think about when I get a new console. It's like I want to play the new console. I don't want to play the old one.
Yeah.
Now, if I have content from my old one, I want to put it on my new one.
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point.
It's the whole point of getting a new console.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you get a PS5 without a disc tray, and then you just it's not quite the same, is it? I never went for a PS5 in the end. I don't know if you were ever thinking about that.
I started on PlayStation, and then I switched over to Xbox. But I don't buy new gen consoles like that because I don't really play the games. I only really play Nintendo games now, so
It's same. It's like it's either Nintendo or Steam.
right. Yeah, I bought an Xbox One, and that was the newest non-Nintendo console I had, and I got it specifically to play Fallout 4.
Okay.
And like I think like Black Ops 4 came out on Xbox One and PS4, so I got it for that. And then the only games I have for it are Fallout 4 and Black Ops 4.
You know what? I think the only Xbox ones I had were Gears of War.
I had a Gears of War. It came with the system.
Yeah, such a nice looking one as well, actually.
So,
and it came up with the sound, the loading sound was a Gears sound, right?
somewhere. I haven't played it. I've never actually played it. Never opened it.
Oh, okay.
And I can't play it now because my Xbox is bricked. It will not load or anything. So.
Oh, that's sad.
I was using pretty much my Xbox One turned into a entertainment console for my TV. So like if I wanted to watch Twitch or like YouTube or something, I would just open my Xbox and open the app. So I never played it.
Well, I mean, I'll recommend it, but I don't know if you'll be able to play it at any point. I think Gears 5 was on Steam, so I imagine the others would be if you ever wanted to get around to it.
True. I probably won't. It's not something that I'm... It's hard for me. I like playing games, but I grew up really only playing Pokemon and Zelda and Sonic, and that's pretty much it. There's a few like Mario, and that's about it. Okay. So for me to play anything else, it either has to be highly recommended to me by a bunch of other people, or just something I find myself being interested in. Like I've been playing Resident Evil lately.
Okay, nice.
What's up, Monica? Welcome in.
Nice topic.
So the only thing I don't have that I want to play is I want to play Kingdom Hearts.
Same, honestly.
But I haven't bought them off Steam yet. At some point.
think I have them on PS4, but my PS4 isn't here, so I don't have access to it.
No, neither of us have got shinies yet. We're playing Sword and Shield, so we're not getting shinies. How this game works.
Where are we? What we've been doing? We've been going for about like maybe an hour now.
Yeah, about so.
And no luck thus far. But yeah, it could easily go like the next 3-4 hours.
Also, I thought lo-fi was a correct playlist to do with Vox. It just felt like the vibe. It's also like 7 o'clock, so I'm like, I'm good. Don't need to have like hyper music going.
Full blast. Yeah, I think. I mean, okay. I am a chill person, but I think people like get that vibe from me really quickly. Right, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's it's just the voice, right?
Somewhat the voice, but yeah, I know a lot of. I'm friends with a lot of people from like the UK region, and they have like similar tones and power behind their voice, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Okay. No,
so
I get it.
It's kind of like a more relaxed feel, and it's different from how I natively how my little spectrum of English is. So I'm much more louder and brash and
I mean that's 101 American, right?
Yeah. UK people, right? Yeah, totally, Dave. And of course, Dave would say that.
I just need to make sure I have like regular tea breaks.
Yeah.
Gotta go grab a cup of tea, otherwise I won't function properly.
You actually, it's good that Dave popped in, because like Dave is also very soft spoken like you are. And
oh really?
Yeah. So it's the same. I'm totally used to it because I've been around Dave for 6 years now.
Oh my god! Wow, crazy. Yeah, get the pair of us together and it'd be like an ASMR stream. I mean, I think part of it comes down to, and I try not to bang on about it too much, but part of it comes down to doing the late night streams. Like, when I do the day streams, I have a lot more energy, and I think I'm a bit more louder during that time. But like, I mean, it's midnight right now. My partner's asleep, so I don't want to wake her up. And
exactly.
Like, on a work night as well, I definitely don't want to wake her up.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get it. That's why I really didn't start streaming until I lived on my own. So I never had the waking up other people problem. It's like I stream whenever and I can be myself and not have to tone it down. I am in like student housing, so like an apartment complex. And so they're like, at 9 o'clock, you're not supposed to be loud. And I try not to be, but I'm in a corner and that sound doesn't get out of my room, so it's fine.
That's so good.
I compensated with a really good mic, so I don't have to like scream or anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Like, I just like boost my volume up. Like, I'll be loud for stream, but it's like a weird like juxtaposition where the voice is loud in stream, but actually I'm quiet and probably mumbling. This raptor's gone. No, it hasn't. Got it. No, I didn't. Random encounter. Jesus Christ.
Doing pretty well, Dave. I was telling Vox earlier, I'm a little bittersweet today, just because Fire Emblem's over, and yeah, I knew it was ending today, and I still haven't kind of accepted it yet. So I would say the better way to phrase it is it feels melancholy. It's over, but you don't want to believe it is.
Yeah. There's another one that was announced, right?
There is, yeah. Engage comes out 2 weeks after this event's over. 2 weeks. Today's Friday. 2 weeks from today.
Wow, so quick.
Which I will be playing.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I just cram it into the schedule somehow.
Well, I mean, even if I have to play it on my own, I'll play it on my own. If I don't get to it right away, it's not like it won't kill me. I know there's a lot of games I want to play this year, so I kind of need to get on it probably by the time February comes around, at least.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I think like going in, like looking like to the future, I after streaming Scarlet and Violet from release day, I don't think I'd ever stream a game on release day or like a story-driven game that soon after release. I just don't think it's good for, like, if you, I mean, you know, if you're looking at like stats to target audience or anything like that. But I've definitely found like people want to stick to their own communities.
Right.
Or that's how I saw it anyway. A lot of people would check out their favorite streamer, checking out the game that they're interested in.
Yeah, it's Pokemon specifically is really hard to do that with.
Yeah.
Just because there are literally everybody and their mother plays the game when it comes out.
Yeah.
And so if you have a sizable following, people are going to be there. That's why I traditionally have not streamed the game. I've not streamed my first playthrough of the game, like, ever.
Yeah, yeah.
The only game I've done that for was Arceus. And I took it a step further because I usually don't make content on my first playthrough of the game, but I did make content on my first playthrough of Scarlet.
Okay.
So that's still going on.
It's still going?
Yeah, it won't be done until February. It's on my YouTube channel.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. I'm pretty sure I'm sub to your YouTube unless
I think
it's
you are.
the group one. I know I follow you on TikTok now. Yeah, I'll have to check after stream. I'm hoping I won't forget. I shouldn't forget.
And that's... I mean, I like to play Pokemon, so that's all I do.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, I started, I'm like, I want to be... I like Nuzlocke. I want to play Pokemon. I want to try different ways to play Pokemon. I got into Nuzlocke, and then I found randomizers, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm never gonna stop playing this game.
No, there's like a million. Like, even if you just did like 5 different randomizers, like the chances of the same game being the same, like this, like playing the same game over and over again is never gonna be the same. It's going to be a same experience.
Now I'll find like one Pokemon I'll get over and over and over again, which is fine. Like it'll come in every series. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But there's only 1,000, so you're bound to get that to happen. Enjoy your Lurk Ultra Ball, by the way.
Yeah, there's definitely something with finding a Pokemon in a Nuzlocke and like having this connection with that Pokemon for the rest of your like Pokemon loving career.
Yeah,
I've definitely had that with like Fire Red, Leaf Green, where like Bulbasaur became like a thing in the community. Pidgey became a thing in the community because of the KO. And then for me personally, like Gastrodon has now become.
You only like it too because it's Gen 4. You said Gastrodon?
Yeah.
That's my son.
It's my boy.
It was my first draft league mascot for Pokemon. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, I run that too.
Oh my god. It's too much. It's too much.
I know. Somebody's got to do something.
Yeah.
I keep myself busy. What can I say?
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, that was the lake theme from Gen 4 that was playing too, so that makes sense. And yes, I know there's only 1,000 Pokemon, but you know, I haven't done a randomizer of like anything on the Switch, so we have a lot of territory to cover. They're a lot of fun, and I really enjoy them, and just doing something different. Like, I'm gonna play the game again. I'd rather the difference in the game be something that is not just trying a different team, but you know, give myself a little bit of a challenge and enjoy it more.
Yeah. I saw someone was doing like a shiny area lock, Nuzlocke, which seemed like quite interesting. There's definitely like room for flexibility, right? I'm getting.
I think the only difference for me is like I know that randomizers exist, and I know that making them completely changes the game. So for me, there's a limited amount of what you can do in a base game. There's still a lot of options and many things, but playing through the game, you're gonna have the same. The bosses are gonna have the same Pokemon. You're not gonna get any difference with that. Just your team's gonna be different, and your playthrough experience is going to be different with what you're using. That's really it. I like the aspect of giving them something completely different, because you never know when you're gonna run through that one boss that's just sitting there with a team of legendaries, and you're trying to beat with Pikachu.
yeah. Or oh my god, what was it? Was it Wolfie VGC that did a Magikarp run on? I can't remember what game it was, but like even stuff like Emerald Kaizo, Kaizo as well.
I don't know if there's a crystal one. I know Emerald. The other one that gets thrown around with Emerald is Radical Red.
Yeah.
Those are the two that are pretty big out there.
Yeah, I can't remember, because a lot of the like Nuzlocke stuff that I know of came through P-Chow, Pokemon Challenges.
Okay. Yeah.
Jan. I guess he like popularized it at some point, like with like certain sets of the community, and it somehow like came up on my feed because I think I follow like Small Ant. It came about from there.
Yeah, he got big because he does really out there and crazy challenges that most other people will not do.
So like the Rataroni run.
Yeah,
like his first, right? Oh, by the way, sorry. Hey Cass, hope you're doing well. Yeah, he's definitely a really interesting guy to follow and see what he does, and I think like even just the fan game community, like opening that world up and seeing other people doing like fan games has also been like a bit of an eye opener as well.
Some of the fan games are really good. I just finished playing Uranium before Scarlet and Violet came out, and love the game. The story is fantastic. It's very grindy, and I don't like grinding, so
right.
Yeah, I completely get those kind of things. So
yeah. Sorry. Going back to like the whole playthrough thing. That's what I was getting at with Emerald Kaizo is like watching like Pichao. He was saying, or like the way that he was playing it was, oh, you have to have Sunkern with this ability. You have to have Marill with this ability. Otherwise, you just can't do it.
Yep.
And when you're just unlocked.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say when you're just like stun locked into like a certain way of playing, then that isn't fun for me. That's like that just kill it off, because it's just like, oh, you just play RNG until you get the right Pokemon.
Yeah, that's exactly why I've been doing hardcore on my channel, and I was playing Pokemon Storm Silver, which is a Drayano ROM hack, which makes it much harder. And legitimately, the only safe way to beat Whitney is to get Shedinja. And I'm like, I don't want to play a game where I'm just getting... One, I got tired of it because it was this... I had done like 14 runs and had the same teams over and over again. I'm like, I want something different, so... the randomized option for me is kind of my way of having that difference and not getting the same Pokemon every single time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally agree with you. I think you're like on point with that. Drayano ones have been pretty good down the road, right? And there's like 3 that he's done, or they've done.
I think the ones I know of are Storm Silver and Sacred Gold, and then there's Blaze Black and Blaze Black 2, and Volt White and Volt White 2.
Yeah.
So
okay.
But you don't need to make Black and White 2 harder, but whatever. Game sucks.
I've seen gameplay, but thankfully I've dodged it so far.
I'm currently doing it. It's terrible. I have over a dozen attempts, and I've died to the first gym most of those.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I'd like to get just to get to the first gym in my leaf green, fire red leaf green run through. I don't have the time to like go back to it, and I just know it would just be like encounter like thousands of encounters just to get a shiny before it happens.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've done shiny hunting playthroughs of pretty much every Switch game, but
Okay.
you know, they're a lot easier to hunt in. Like, I won't do Sword and Shield because there's no way to. It's full odds and yikes. But like, Let's Go is pretty easy to get it with the catch combo. Legends Arceus, the dex is not terrible to hunt with. I think Scarlet and Violet, if you would grind sandwiches, it wouldn't be terrible. So
True. Or even just it can happen. Like I was saying I can't remember if I was saying it to you before, but like you can accidentally become a shiny hunter, like in Scarlet and Violet. I find more than like any other mainstream or like main series game.
that depends if you count Legends Arceus as main series or not. To me,
I think I still see it as a spin-off.
okay. So yeah, I would argue that Legends
I
Arceus.
mean, lore-wise, yeah, I get it.
If you're playing the game at its base, I think Arceus is still easier to get shinies in. But if you do like sandwiches, or if you're doing perfect deck stuff, it's definitely easier to get them in Scarlet and Violet. But if you're just blind playing the game, no boost to your odds whatsoever, you're probably gonna find it in Arceus first. That would be my guess.
I think I don't think I did much shiny hunting in Legends at all. I played through the game with my partner, and so like I never went off to do shiny hunting separately or the outbreaks or anything like that. Which I think were like post game anyway, right? If I remember correctly. But we randomly came across one shiny during our playthrough. I think it was like a Stunky.
I found a couple my first playthrough. So I get it. And yes, Monica, you bring up a really good point. The shiny sparkle animation and sound definitely help with which was something I was thinking in the back of my mind. I'm like, that definitely helps you find the shinies. Whereas in Scarlet and Violet, it's so easy to walk past things.
Yeah. I tell you, 100%. Like that's so on point.
So I was like, it depends if you count Legends Arceus or not as a main series game, because it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah. I can see both sides of the thing. I would personally say I would see it as a spin-off. But it doesn't mean like I enjoyed it any less. Like I enjoyed Pokemon Snap when that came out as well.
I never played Snap.
So good. So much fun.
I'm sure it looks fun, but not my style. I don't like slice of life kind of things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Slice of life. Yeah. Okay. That sums me up so much. I was thinking like, so as soon as you said that, I was like, have you seen your anime list recently? I was like, okay, yeah, that's so fair. Yeah. I grew up with. So my first console was a SNES. And that's just to date me as much as possible. But I grew up with the N64, or like a lot of my childhood memories were either with N64 or GameCube. It was between like,
right.
I'd say it was more skewed towards N64 to be fair. And so Pokemon Snap, the N64 one, was like a massive part of my childhood. Between that and Melee, or
Smash 64.
Smash 64. Yeah, and Lilac Wars as well. Like games like that. I was like, I don't know, nostalgia, I guess, right? But that's why they brought up the second Pokemon Snap, and that's why they're bringing back like GoldenEye on the N64 online. Yeah.
I never had a 64. We didn't have no money to get one when I was a kid. So I didn't have anything until I had a GameCube, and the GameCube is incredibly nostalgic for me. But I played I went to a daycare when I was a kid, and they had an N64. So like I am nostalgic for Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing, or more of the party games that were on the N64 than the single player stuff.
Yeah, I'm still on board with that as well. Like for me, growing up with Nintendo consoles, more so over like PlayStation and Xbox, I definitely found like party games or like group games to be a bigger factor of, or like a bigger imprint on the games that I enjoy.
Well, I usually played games with my friends, so I didn't really play a lot of single player stuff on my own, and I just kind of completely 360'd when I became an adult, because I don't play games with my friends as much, whereas I play all the single player games that have ever existed. I get my hands on.
Yeah. It's like trying to catch up for lost time.
Yeah, pretty much. It's also like, as an adult, it's harder to do the party games with friends because everyone's so busy now, which you can't do it.
No, I want to do more this year, and like I was saying late in December, like 2023, like I'm gonna stream more with other people, and obviously you then, I think like within like a couple of days, had sent that message over, inviting me to this event.
Might have been planned.
It was like, yeah, it's definitely like the Kickstarter for me to like start streaming with someone else and have them like on stream and do more. So yeah, like I said to you before the stream started, I did it once with one person who we played Man of Medan.
I didn't know that one. No.
It's one of the oh my god, what are they called? Dark Picture Anthology. I'm trying to think what else they did. They did
I can't help you with IRL friend stuff, guys. That's on you. You gotta do that yourself.
Until Dawn.
Oh yeah, I know Until Dawn.
Yeah. So they did that whole series, and so they've done like Little Hope and a couple more since then. But yeah, Man of Medan it's like a few years old now, and that was like really fun to like stream with someone else and have that joint experience with. And I definitely want more of it this year. That's like definitely gonna happen.
I do a lot with my mods. Like I think, trying to think if there's a mod that doesn't stream. Yeah, really only two is my mod that doesn't stream, because he stopped. But everyone basically streams, and so occasionally I'll be like, hey, you wanna? I trust them obviously, so I'm like, you want to do a stream? And they're the people I work more with, but I kind of have a similar goal. It's just I want to reach out to people that I don't normally do streams and stuff with, and be like, hey, let's do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if we're doing like a Soul Link through Pokemon, or like some kind of thing together, I wanna do that more, because I wanna branch out a bit more than just do my own thing, because I can do my own thing pretty well. I need to work on the group things.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking to try and set up either Among Us lobby at some point, or Phasmophobia. I just think it'd be
Joy Food.
To like just like bring communities together, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play Among Us every day.
I've never played it. I watched it. Like I was a massive 5-Up fan when he started playing it at the beginning of COVID, but I never got around to playing it because I just didn't. Okay, it's gonna sound sad, but I didn't have the friends to play it with. Like everyone's too busy.
Yeah, I get that. Luckily for me, it kind of, my friend group was trying to find a way to stay connected while COVID was going on, and that came out, and we're like, hey, let's just all get it, and we made a Discord server and just played Among Us like every night. As a way to just keep in touch with each other, since we were at home and not on campus together.
Yeah. I think it's I think like our experiences are probably different because of the age difference as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a problematic age gap, but it's like definitely we're both in like unique situations, I guess, in that regards. So I'm actually quite envious that you're able to have friends that like wanted to keep in touch. I moved the town that I was living, like moved from the town that I was living in And yeah, basically most of my friends turn around and be like, well, if you're not around here, I don't want to hang out. I thought, all right, like fine, I'll try and make a new group of friends. Like, and that's, but like when you hit your 30s and
It's hard to do
you're
that.
working, no, it's cool. Well, like when you're working from home and you're living in a town that you don't know anyone, like you never grew up with anyone or anything like that, you're put in like a weird situation where it's difficult to like find new friends, I guess. And that's part of the reason I started streaming. Like, I thought it might be the best way to pick up more friends.
I mean, I'm in a similar boat because I'm in a completely different town from where all my friends are. It's just, luckily, I had some not great experiences in high school, and I'm gonna make sure I get good friends, and I definitely picked some because we can be apart for however long, and we jump in and be like, "Yo, what's up?" And it's like nothing ever, no time ever left. But I'm in the same situation. Like, I'm in a new city. I've been here for almost a year and a half now, and really don't have a lot of friends. Like, I have people I know that I go to class with, and I've gone to lunch with maybe once, but they're not like friends I talk to all the time.
Yeah, it's more like
Colleagues,
yeah, colleagues or companions or something along those lines. It's bizarre.
And I've also been incredibly weird in social situations, so I like having that one person that is pretty solid at it and will get me to be out of my shell.
I've definitely. I haven't given up on it. I am a musician. So for me, especially like with the college I went to in London, I had to force myself to have a lot of self-confidence.
Right.
Especially like you're getting up on stage, you're playing your instrument, and then like the extra layer for me, or probably because I was overthinking it, was that my audience are also musicians, or like the musicians. So for me, a lot of it was down to, oh god, they're going to judge me for not doing well because they know where I'm going to fuck up. Whereas like if you play in like a pub or something, they're not going to know. They're too drunk to realize what's happening.
Yep.
I mean, first time I got up on stage, I was like 100% like I just froze up. I just didn't know. Like, it was a really simple. It was a Motown song or something, and that's nothing against Motown. They're just simpler to play. But I just froze. I was like, I have no idea what music is at this point. But towards the end of it, I could do like jazz improvised solos and like actually have fun on stage. But it took a lot. It was literally like flexing a muscle or like working a muscle.
Right.
And just like sort of build it up. Yeah. So yeah, definitely like finding the right people that you can chat with and have like chemistry in a platonic way. Having chemistry with someone that you can just like either get on the phone or on our case on a stream,
right,
and just chat with and hang out with. The more you can do it, the better you're going to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's also, that's a completely different setting from like Twitch is, because you're not going on Twitch to impress people or to the music industry specifically is incredibly competitive, and so everyone kind of sees each other as a threat. So you're not going on a stream to see people as a threat. You're kind of just, I'm doing what I'm doing, and hang out and vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I get that to a degree, but like, I guess, like as musicians, you do have to work together a lot of the time.
True.
And a lot of our performances were as a group, so we would meet up, and so I'd have like a different drummer to work with every week or a different vocalist, and each of those had like their own challenges, and I have my own challenges. Like if someone's trying to work with me, I'd be like, I want to do things like maybe in this way, or this is what I'm good at, these are my strengths or weaknesses, and they sort of work out what where they can meet me with those, and I work out where I can meet them with those. So working out that chemistry really quickly between people, and not just being like, oh, we're playing song A now, let's play song A.
Right. Yeah, I can see that too. I just kind of I vicariously lived through a lot of my friends who were trying to be musicians and music teachers and those kinds of things, and they were like, man, it's incredibly, like, all I got was the bad stuff from it, because they were venting to me and wanting me to listen and stuff.
Music teachers is definitely a different level. I guess session musicians as well, maybe. I never worked as a session musician, unfortunately. But yeah, I can see definitely with like tutors where, there's only like, say 5 of you in an area,
Right.
maybe like, even if there's 20 of you, then you're all fighting for the same people in like a radius.
Yeah, it was I didn't go to a school in a big area, so like within the city that we were around, there might have been 4 teaching positions, and most of them were filled by somebody who had been in the role for a while. So you probably weren't getting a job, and
Unless they were retired.
Unless they were retired. So it was very competitive, and a lot of the teachers who were teaching at the school I was at were professional. Either one of them was a trumpetist, another one did opera singing, and so like you had those people who were in those really competitive roles, and it kind of just was the atmosphere of the area.
That's really interesting.
So they kind of like put all that stress onto the students, and everybody was like, I gotta be better than everyone, and I can't.
Yeah, I get it. Especially when like that's where your source of income's coming from as well, right?
Yeah. It also kind of was getting into certain classes, because some of the caps, like some classes only accepted like the top 10 students, and so if you they did what they were called juries, and so they would have to perform a set of music at the end of a semester, and you got scored by the department. And so if you did really good on them, you were considered in that top 10% of the people in the school, and you got into those higher classes that were going to improve you in the long run. And so everyone was trying to compete for like 10 spots, and it was not healthy for them.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I had to apply to get into the college I went to, and I would say they let me in by like a hair's width. Like it was one of those. I failed the first time I went, and then I went back a few months later to try again, because I didn't know the theory, because I never studied it in high school. So there was like so much I wasn't aware of. So yeah, I kind of understand, but like I didn't know who my competition were. I didn't know.
That sucks. I'm sorry. But you save a lot.
I didn't know what like the barometer of like how good I have to be to beat someone else.
Right.
I was just trying to work out how much do I have to improve personally to learn the next thing I want to learn. So it's quite interesting.
I had done some of that in high school too. Like I was studying music, and I like music. I was never good enough to do anything, and I knew that. But yeah, competitive choirs and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Like anyone can play an instrument. There are like financial reasons why you might be.
Yes, but I'll say unless you're trying to.
You might find it difficult, but there's so much availability online now.
Right. Yeah.
Especially more so than like when I was growing up. I'm such a fucking boomer. I'm so sorry. I still remember like the dial-up tone, and like my parents shouting at me for like using the internet to play Ultima Online, like that kind of like era. I also vaguely remember Dreamcast.
Let's say a Dreamcast.
Sorry?
I love the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great console, but playing it online was a nightmare. Oh my god, everything's running away from me. I'm trying to remember my thoughts, and yeah, everything's running away.
Core memory dial-up sound? Nice.
Yeah. It's like stuff of nightmares. What was my point? So I can understand with like money-wise, like if people aren't available to afford certain instruments, because a lot of the instruments are super expensive, especially if you're looking at like a piano,
Yes.
But actually to like learn how to play, I think anyone can do it. I think everyone's got the ability to learn the techniques.
Yeah, it's just definitely, it takes a lot of time, and you also have to find the instrument that works for you. Because I tried learning piano, and I have what I call dumb left hand syndrome.
Right.
It's my non-dominant hand, and therefore I can't do anything without help.
Okay.
And so I can't, like, even though most of the stuff in your left hand on a piano is chording or simple rhythms, like if my right hand's playing something, my left hand goes, yeah, I'm not gonna move.
Yeah. So you right-handed then?
I'm right-handed, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if this helps or not. I'm left-handed, but I play a right-handed guitar.
Sure.
For example, as a guitarist. So when I do chords, the chords are all with my left hand, but my rhythm and like a lot of the
strumming patterns and
yeah, like all of that is just in your right arm, and I had zero rhythm in my right arm, and like my left hand is there, just like tag me in, chief, like trying to get on the field, and I'm like, it's not happening. Like you've got some chords to play, and that's all you can do. You're a bench warmer at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are like left-handed techniques, like El Gato stuff, etc. But for like a lot of the music that you have to play to learn, or like a lot of the basics, all require good right-hand rhythm. And it literally took me like months of sitting in my room with a metronome and not moving until, or like not leaving until like I worked out how to do a pattern or something. It's literally just training the brain at that point. You're unlearning stuff to learn a new technique, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. I find that funny because I have my best friend is we both play guitar, but I'm right-handed, he's left-handed, and he actually prefers playing right-handed guitars so he can do more stuff in his like the chording and changing for picking and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm playing it the right-handed guitar with the right hand. Obviously, like that's how you're supposed to do it, quote unquote, supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually can play a guitar, so I guess it's just a difference in what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like the difference in style as well, I imagine, or influences as well. You probably have like in your head a way that you want to express something.
Totally.
But yeah, I will totally agree with your left-handed friend as well, where as soon as I learned how to do like the rhythm stuff with the right hand and right arm, that's when like I could tag the left hand back in and be like, okay, now we can learn something cool. But the level of like dexterity was already higher because I am left-handed.
Right. I think it's easier for me to play it right-handed because I was a percussionist, so I'm used to the rhythm comes naturally to me, and so like I can play the right hand without thinking about it. I can just sit there and focus on what my left hand's doing.
Yeah, true. That makes so much sense. I used to do like crazy stuff as a drummer where I would like find a TV show that I wanted to watch, and I'd bring down the foot pedals and like a practice snare like target thing, and I would sit there and do like paradiddles with my arms and my feet while watching like Friends for like 2 hours, and I just wouldn't pay attention to what I was doing and just watch the show. And like after a while you get better at it and better at it, and like it becomes second nature at that point.
Very much so. Like I've been playing my guitar more, so I've gotten better at it. But I'm still what I would consider a beginner. Like if you give me like chords, I can do it. But if you want like picking or like a really tough rhythm, I'm probably not going to be able to do it.
Right, I got you.
Without a lot of practice.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I would say, because I mean, it's funny we talk about this, because I'm actually going to start after this event. I'm going to start doing music streams I'm going to start with guitar, and then eventually, by the end of the month, I'll have my synthesizer as well.
Ooh.
And that's gonna be so fun. I think there's a way for me to tie it up to do stuff with Twitch as well, with redeems. I think there's a way I can work out how to connect the MIDI with the stream. That would be really interesting if I can get chat to change stuff on my synth. That might take a while, but there's still like I can still play the synth, so that's still something to do. But I think if I picked up my guitar now, I would probably play like the 3 things I really enjoy playing, or like my go-to party favorite type things.
Right. Yeah.
And then after that, I would struggle because I just don't remember anything. Because I think that was like the mentality of like the college as well. Is that because it was a performance-based one. You had to learn 2 songs every week, and one of those songs you had to learn like guitar part A and B. So you're essentially learning like 3 songs a week, every week for 9 weeks. And so the way you learn a song wasn't necessarily to remember it for like the rest of your days. It wasn't like you're adding it to your catalog or
your repertoire.
Yeah. That's the word. Thank you. Oh my god, that streamer brain coming in clutch right now. Yeah. So like my mentality, I guess my mentality at that point was like, learn a song, forget it to learn the next song, because you only had like a week to learn another 3, which is kind of sad. Like I'd much prefer to have that repertoire of like loads of songs to go back to now.
I totally get that because I played in band. I played tuba. And we changed our music we do like a performance every week, and we changed our show music every single week.
Oh my god.
And so you barely get the time to learn the music by the time the performance happens, and then you completely switch into something else. And
insane.
Meanwhile, I can go back to things I played in high school, and probably you give me a tuba, I can play it without even looking at the sheet music. That kind of stuff, I probably couldn't play it with the sheet music. That's not a Ralts. Okay.
No, I've done exactly the same thing.
Well, I thought I was running into a Ralts and it's a Metapod.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely not the same thing. No, at least mine was slightly more humanoid.
You said it was green, I guess, so...
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. I'll give you that one.
I think like doing the music in a fast succession like that, it's better at like your improv and just sight reading something, but it really does not do well for like creating your own tone and style to a piece of music.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. I much prefer learning theory and techniques over learning songs, and I think a lot of that comes down to actually going to a college and being taught a way that I didn't want to be taught.
Yeah, I did a lot. I spent a lot of time when I was learning music. Like I did like a concert band, so like we played the same pieces all year. It was fun. It was easy. You learn the music, and then once you get all the music under your hands and under your belt, it's okay. Now, what kind of stylistic things can I do to change it? And you try things, and your director's like, okay, simmer down back there, but you gotta find it, and you can't do that when you have a week to learn a piece, because by that point in time, I hadn't even learned the music.
Yeah. You'd have no flute guy if that was the case, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, that was so good.
I mean, I played tuba, so like they had to tell us to simmer down all the time. So that's just kind of how it was. Comes with the territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god, I don't think I can see any cups. Should probably. Yeah, it's funny. It's really interesting though.
So I want to know what your experience is with learning music, like, because for me, I could practice all I wanted, but specifically like with like a band setting, I couldn't learn the pieces unless I was playing with the other people. Like I could practice like all night and do whatever I wanted, but it just one day it would click and I would have it. So you have like a similar experience, or is it like different for you?
I think as a guitarist, it's weird. I have to like change up my answers for like
fair.
different instruments. So as a guitarist, I literally have to. If someone said, "Oh, this is like what to play," I'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Can you write it down for me? I'll take it home. I'll study it, and then I'll come back to you in like a week, and then we'll play it." That's like the long and short of how I did my band rehearsals.
Okay.
Like if someone came up with something, I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna look into the theory of this as well." So I might come back with you with like some new chords. Is that okay? I don't know why. I wish I knew the answer. But there was a guy in one of my bands that. So we started off doing like covers, which I have no problem with people doing covers, but covers is not for me. I just don't enjoy doing covers at all because it's. I won't get into it. I'll pass it. Anyway, so he wrote this song. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's cool. Could you like write it down for me, or like there's like online tablature and stuff like that.
Right.
And
story is a thing.
Yeah. And so he wrote it down, and I was like, what in the fresh hell is this? What are you talking about? I was like, this is a mess. This is like a jumble sale. It's like you emptied like a Scrabble bag or something, right? I was like, how have you got this? And it's because he was a piano player. That was just literally like type for type transposing from like one instrument to another without really thinking about it. I was like, what is this chord? And like my hand can't stretch that far to do this kind of stuff. How are you playing this? And then and then it was at that point I was like, oh, okay, right, I'm gonna redo all of your chords so that we can all read the chords. I hope you don't mind. And that was like a very interesting couple of weeks to decipher what he was meaning or what he meant.
I'm glad you said
that was part of the way.
I'm glad you specified that it's different based on like what you're playing. Because I was thinking of like just playing tuba or playing another like instrument in like an orchestra or something like that. But if I go to guitar, I spend like all the first time that I'm playing the music by myself and don't want like you're not gonna hear it until I have it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I completely get it. Now that it makes so much sense. I do think it comes with whatever instrument you're doing. I think part of it for me in an ensemble like playing tuba is that it's the bass line, and when you're playing the bass line by itself, it always sounds wrong.
Yeah, because
it's the bass line.
Yeah, and you're not necessarily. I mean, it obviously depends on the complexity of the song, but you're as a bass player, you're not necessarily playing like the key notes of the chord progression, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So that's especially when like you get into like more intricate stuff, where with like especially jazz stuff, like if you're like a jazz bassist and you're playing like the 7th note, but you're just playing that alone, and then you're moving from like nerdy music stuff, and then you're just like playing that on its own. It's gonna sound like really out of tune, essentially, or it's not gonna make sense. Like people aren't gonna follow it.
Yeah.
I mean that's the same with like polyrhythms and
not polyrhythms.
I love polyrhythms. I'm such a prog fan that it's hard for me to pretend like I'm not.
I mean, I like listening to I hate doing polyrhythms. I don't mind like if I'm like, oh, there's a polyrhythm in that piece, sure, but if it's me, no.
Oh, I love it.
Not my cup of tea.
I think some of that, well, I mean, some of it obviously comes from like music influences,
Sure.
But I think also as a drummer, like you sometimes end up doing polyrhythms anyway, to a degree, or like you're used to having like different cogs in motion, right? It's like your feet are doing one thing, your hands are doing sometimes the opposite, or sometimes in sequence with your feet.
Yeah, that goes back to my dumb left hand syndrome. It doesn't work.
Yeah, okay,
That
yeah,
doesn't work for me.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's probably why I've never. I played like marching snare and stuff like that. So I'm like, you only got like 1 or 2 or 3 different things to hit your sticks off of. Like you're not doing the whole like 16 set drum kit or something like that, which is way above my wheelhouse.
Honestly, I'm just a madman. I think that's like the best way to put it. But like I really enjoyed like learning more about like different drum kits and stuff. So I was really big into people like Terry Bozzio, Mike Portnoy, people like that. And there was like, I think it was Mike Portnoy actually, who has a second hi-hat that's like, it runs on hydraulic, or like a hydraulic of some description. And so like if you imagine like the floor and you have the hi-hat pedal on the left, and then you have 2 drum pedals in the middle, and then there was another hi-hat on the right, and so you could switch between doing like double bass to double hi-hats, back to double bass, and like have like weird syncopations with like this hi-hat that you can't even reach because it's so far away on your kit. Like, I could never reach a hi-hat, but I had the second hi-hat as well, and it was just constantly closed. And it was constantly closed, and so I could only hit it and I could never open it. So it was a weird setup. It was also half electric, half acoustic.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. So
that doesn't sound fun.
So the cymbals were all like actual cymbals that would need miking up, and then the snare and the toms and the bass, and the kick drum were all electric and MIDI, so you could change the sound of everything on all of the things as well. It was crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
It sounds very crazy. It's like, jeez.
Yeah. It was quiet though, but other than the cymbals, it was quiet. And like I could practice a lot of the things I wanted to practice without having to worry about cymbals.
Ah, okay, yeah. I don't know, I'd have to jump onto a kit sometime and mess around with it. Like I'm sure I could do like basic rhythm things, but like jumping into a bunch of random stuff, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun. I definitely found it exhausting. I would finish practicing and just be like sweating buckets.
Right.
And it'd be like December, which, you know, in the UK, I mean, it's always cold and wet and rainy, except for like 1 week in the year. But I would have to wear shorts. I'd have to wear like a shorts and t-shirt, and then I'll step out my room, and then suddenly I'm freezing cold because it's middle of winter and I've totally forgotten. So it was a weird. But I mean, I guess it's always like that with like studios and stuff. I don't know how much time you spend in like studio rooms or just like music rooms in general, but they're just like they're baking.
Yes. Like we had our practice rooms at the college were, man, they were you just sweated. I hated, because I always said I was like in choir, and so like I would go down and I would play my pieces on while I was learning it, and I'd be in there and I'd walk out after I was done practicing, and I'm like, yeah, I might want to change clothes. It's not a good time.
No, that's true.
It's like going into a sauna, dude. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, that's why I think like when you are in a band with someone and you do stuff like that, and you do like practice sessions in like a proper like in a proper room, that's where the bond comes in. It's not through like a lot of the other things. It's not like going to the pub with them after a gig, or whatever, or watching YouTube videos together. It's being in that room and being able to stand each other's sweat for hours and not be repulsed by the other person by the time you come back to the next one. And like the only step up from that is gigs and going on tour. Like that, I've never been on tour, but like that's how I see like the pipeline.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. If you're going on tour, you're gonna be. Oftentimes, people they're in the same like van together for the whole thing.
Exactly.
Oh, it's terrible. It's got to be terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if I would ever be able to manage it.
I can't. I like my space too much.
Exactly. I mean, I guess it's kind of like almost a requirement of a Twitch streamer. But yeah, I can be like really particular or really set in my ways about doing some stuff. I don't know if it is like something on the spectrum. Okay. I'm not gonna like self-diagnose myself or something. But yeah, I imagine like that's probably like being a streamer. Yeah, we all have our like unique set of ways we want to do something. We don't, or I don't want to speak for everyone, but from what I've seen, like a lot of people don't want to move away from that boundary.
Right.
Or they find it very difficult to move outside of that boundary.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get that too. I think it's part of it for me is like I internalize it as like I kind of in myself on stream, like there's a little bit of a persona, but it's basically the same person you get in real life. So like if I'm changing things about how I'm doing stream, it's kind of changing my personality, and that's not something that I'm super wanting to do.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get that.
So that's kind of how I would envision it myself.
I just don't think I could like pretend to be someone else. Like I'm not an actor. Like I don't think I could do it. What are we at? 148. Yeah,
I definitely could do it, but I don't want to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah. I think that's where like the no, I don't know, because there's both sides to it really. I guess some people do thrive off like the pretending to be an arsehole, or like pretending to be this, that, and the other. Yeah. There was like do you know I always feel weird like mentioning bigger streamers, but do you know of QT Cinderella? QT Cinderella.
Is she the $5 lady?
She does baking.
Okay, no idea.
And, she did like the Streamer Awards last year. She did Wine About It, and oh my god, there was another podcast, and she's like Ludwig's partner.
Okay.
So she said that she started off by getting invited onto like this Twitch game show, and she was like, I'm gonna like change it up for you and make it like a bit more like viral and snippy for you by pretending to be this awful person that's gonna roast you. And so they did the game show, and then she was like roasting these people, and it was all like in good fun, but obviously the internet was the internet and thought it was serious. And then they went over to her stream, and then like, oh, you're actually nice. Like, we just didn't expect this. Like, yeah, like it was a persona, it was a joke, like I was acting. But I just, I don't think I could have that like disconnect between online and offline.
I definitely have seen a lot of people do it, and I kind of, when I started, I'm like, that's how you have to be, but doing it, I probably had a bit more of a persona when I was starting out, because I was incredibly shy. I'm more out and open now than I was, so I think that being a streamer and making content has helped me with that. just come out of my own like shy shell. But I definitely had a persona when I started. I'm like, I'm going to be, you know, very, very over the top, very, you know, active and, you know, excited and in a good mood regardless of how I feel. You know, that was kind of the persona I have. And now I'm just like, you come into the chat and you mess with me and I'm just going to give it to you how it is. You know, it's not.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's really interesting because I wonder how much of that comes down to like age and time. Like as you've like gotten older throughout your streaming, your time streaming. Like I wonder if like it's just like a mental shift of, I don't want to say growing up, but like actually growing up, but not like in the now you're like a big kid kind of thing. I don't want it to sound patronizing. I want it to sound like slash genuine, right? I don't know how to word that correctly. I'm just gonna put it out there and say I don't know how to word that correctly. But like as you've gotten older, right?
Yeah.
You know what, right? Sometimes when you dig a hole,
you just keep digging.
You just slows you down. I'm just gonna go full hands and just go for it. But yeah, as long as you get what I mean.
Yeah, I'm there.
Cool. No doubt. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I wonder if that's part of it. I mean, obviously for me, like starting as like a 30-plus-year-old, I'm just too old and I'm stuck in my ways and I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not anymore.
Right.
But like when I was younger, I definitely pretended to be someone else, like to new groups of people, because it's a coping mechanism, isn't it? Or
it's a survival instinct.
Yeah, pack mentality.
Like you walk into a new place that you've never been before, and you know you don't want to. You don't want to be the thumb that's sticking out. You want to be, you know, part of the rest of the hand and active in what's going on. So you'll put on that different air. I mean, yeah, I do think that's part of age and growing up. Well, as you said, growing up. It's part of maturing, I think.
Thank
you. Know,
okay,
as a kid, you're trying to, you know, human development is all about mimicking and learning from the people around you and the things you're seeing. So once you get to the point that you've reached so much of your maturity, you're at the point where you can't be copying people anymore. It's just got to be you, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
and
some people, they get to the point where people are then copying them, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like more self-reflection needed at that point.
That's the wrong layout. Why is that there? That's not where that's supposed to be. Trying to emphasize a full face. Trying to emphasize a full face because what you said, you know, described people and that are watching, and so I was, you know, making a nod at them. But I pressed the wrong button because I'm not used to my stream deck yet.
Oh no!
It's fine. It totally ruined the movement. It's fine.
Has it been a good investment though?
Yeah, I've had it for a while. It's just I've always done like scene changes and stuff on a keypad, and I got a new keyboard. It doesn't have the number keys on it, so I've had to put everything on my stream deck, and now it's weird. So I have to think about it a little bit more, but it's a good investment, yeah.
So I mean, I still consider myself quite a novice streamer. I probably would for like the next 5 years. So I manually switch in OBS anytime I change scenes. I didn't even know you could do keybinds.
Yep. If you go to the settings and if you're in OBS, if you click settings, there's a thing that says hotkeys, and it will show up with every single like what are they called? Scenes that you have.
Yeah.
And so you can put a keybind on it. So like I would know like my BRB would be like 1, and then like a Shining Hunting string would be 2, and then I would have this other layout for another game I wanted to play, and that would be the 3rd button or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, you can. It's easy to do that. The hard part is finding keys that you're not going to accidentally press while you're streaming.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which is why numpad is good.
Because I'm like I usually use I was trained with typing to learn both, so I always preferred using the ones above the top row. So I just
okay.
I'm never using the num key, and then I don't have them anymore. So
Yeah. Oh no. I was I don't even know. No, they won't work anymore because I changed my model. So with the PNG tuber stuff, I had hotkeys to switch between like
acid
different
order.
like
Welcome in.
anime emote, like
Oh, okay.
emotional things. So like, you know, seeing a shiny or something, and then have like the stars in the eyes kind of stuff. And then I'd have to like remember all the numbers.
Yeah.
And then I added more. And then I was like, okay, and then it's control and all those numbers. And then I was like, well, what if I add more though? And I was like, can I do
all those numbers?
Yeah. I was like, how much can I actually do before I just actually lose my mind and have like, I don't know, 30 something different settings. And now I literally just have the one, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that means it is freed up now to do scene selection. So following on from that then, so do you not have OBS on your screen at all?
I used to stream off of my OBS, like that would be what I was looking at.
Okay.
Scarlet and Violet came out, and I got used to, while doing the marathon I was doing at the beginning of it, got used to doing a full screen. And so, well, it was not a full screen, it was just, I have a smaller monitor than the monitor I was using. So I got used to a bigger monitor. And now I can't play the game without having that same size monitor. So my game takes up a whole monitor, while as I have my dashboard and my chat and everything on the other monitor that I have. And I put OBS on top of it, so that way I can just see all the inner workings and make sure everything's going correctly.
Got you. Okay.
So I have it open and I'm looking at it right now. It's just, I don't normally look at it much anymore.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I always try not to worry with the OBS stuff. I could just turn the screen off, but then I just wouldn't see chat or anything.
Right.
Like obviously, keeping up to date on stuff like that is important, but I just don't know any other way around doing it. I guess unless you like were able to undock them and have them like always on top and have something else there. I said it because I was thinking about like double hunting on like Scarlet and Violet, but I don't want a third monitor because I just think that'd just be too much. I'd lose my mind.
Yeah, I have a third, I quote unquote have a third monitor. It's really just a laptop that I have open.
Right.
I rarely use it. I just, for now, like it works for the multis that we're doing, because I can have your stream on the laptop. I usually don't look at it because it's not in my field of vision. I'm looking here, I'm looking forward for those of you in chat, and the laptop's over here, so I have to like intentionally look that way. So if you ever see me looking off to the I guess right or something, I'm looking at the other stream. Night, Nico, welcome in, and good night, I guess. So goodbye.
I kept your chat open so I could actually see that.
Yeah.
Now I understand where you're coming from as well.
So I don't use my third. I wouldn't use a third monitor as much. I want one, but I think what I would do with it is, thank you for doing turtle concentration. I would probably do it where I could have like, you know, Spotify or something else on. I would probably mount it above the two that I have.
Yeah.
Just so it would be kind of out of the way. But also that would give me different, so like if I wanted to put my face cam in the bottom of my screen, I could be looking up at it would make it look like I'm looking up at the game rather than anything else. It's kind of why I have my face cam positioned on the right side of my layout, because I naturally am looking towards the game when I'm playing it, because that's where my game is.
Yeah. I get that.
It's like if I would flip it around, you know, I would have to flip my face cam too, so it would just look weird.
Yeah, it sounds like a nightmare.
I hope Dave does kick you in the shins. That'd be great. It's content. Vox has no idea what I'm talking about. It's fine. I
don't. But
we were talking about making like shorts. One of our suggestions was going to another one of our people's houses and kicking the shin. So, it'd be funny.
Yeah, sounds good.
I also kind of got used to. I blame Jimmy because we were at Jimmy's house for the marathon, and I got used to his setup because it was a couple days, and then I didn't come back to my setup for another week or so. So I was very out of practice, and I got used to it. And then, yeah. Now I'm like, I need a third monitor, and I need to mount it, and I need to do this and that, and change how I'm doing my stuff. Which, you know, I like updating things. It makes you know, me happy, but I don't know what I'd do with a third monitor at all.
I would probably use a third monitor just for chat. Like, not saying like my chat is particularly active, but like if you got to the point where I needed a third monitor, I would literally just have it in portrait mode, and then have chat on there and use it just for chat. I'd rather that and then have like completely free up the other monitor.
Right. Yeah. I just don't think I guess I got used to it too, and I mean I used to do all this with one monitor, so I've been in that boat too. And once you learn a new setup, like you kind of get used to it, and that's just how it is. So it's not too big of a deal. So I'm sure I would find uses for a third monitor. I you know, don't have one yet, so I can't even begin to parse what I would use it for. Getting a third monitor, nice. Hope you enjoy it. You don't really need it, but I guess you can enjoy it if you want it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess like alternative would be like just use your phone or something, right?
I mean,
like,
yeah, technically you have like, I could have 4 monitors if I wanted to. One would be my phone.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, I could always have chat pulled up on that and just like stand it up at the base of my computer and be like, oh yeah, there's my 4th monitor. Yeah, I can read what you're saying without having to have chat open, but I got used to I got used to having game / OBS and then stream stuff on the other thing, and I can read everything.
Right. Tui, thank you for coming by. I appreciate that you're already following, and thanks for coming by to check up on that. I hope all's going well for you.
He's about to get kicked in the shin, so not really.
Probably not feeling great now.
Wait, is your leg recovered yet? Or are we kicking you in the other shin?
I was going to say, he's got 2 of them, it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But he can't. He just gets injured all the time, and yeah, he was in a... you're probably about out of your cast, I would say. Maybe a couple more weeks or a month or so. I forget what you broke. But something. I want to say it was Achilles, but I don't think that's correct.
Ooh, yeah, painful. Oh, King, thanks for the posture check, the hydrate, and the stretch. I appreciate that, buddy. You have knee surgery in like 2 weeks, so it has to be the other leg, right?
Okay, fair enough.
That sucks.
ACL, that's what it was. I'm like, it's something.
Oh, ACL, yeah.
That sucks.
So King in my chat is saying that you also need to check your posture.
I just did.
And stretch. Good. Love to see it. I haven't hydrated yet. I will now.
I laugh about the hydrate one because I literally sit here. I'm like, encounter, grabs water, takes a sip, puts down, gets another encounter, grabs, rinse, repeat. Like, it's just I always am drinking water. So like, someone's like, take a sip. I'm like, I don't need to. Well, I go through too much water as it is. Dang it.
Yeah. It's just waterboarding at that point.
Yeah. I think it subconsciously started doing it as like a filler for, you know, when there's nothing that I want to talk about and nothing that I really want to say. Just like, yeah, just take a sip of water and don't worry about it.
I've never thought of that. I've never thought of like trying to look for a coping mechanism for not having anything to talk about. It's
been kind of mine. I don't like it, but
times like everyone has goals. I definitely like, especially if you're doing like long streams as well. You are going to run out of stuff to talk about, unless it's like just the actual content in the game that's going to disappear.
Yeah, or you have somebody, or you keep getting new people who are like, oh, I want to talk about this thing that I'm experiencing in my life. Like, here's this anime that I'm watching, or I just watched this movie and this is the plot line 2 hours later. Well, now we're talking about something else.
Yeah. What's the last anime that you watched?
I am currently watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay, okay. I need to watch Full Metal.
It's really good. I kind of think it's not my favorite, but it's kind of more slice of life, I think, than the stuff I would normally watch. But it still has, it's got a lot of alchemy and chemistry, and there's some battling. There's battling and violence and a good storyline. So it's got things I like in it. It's not like for me, probably my favorite is either Hunter x Hunter or Demon Slayer, and they're very much more action based.
Yeah, those are bangers, absolute bangers.
So that's kind of my shtick, but I kind of maybe it's more slice of life kind of deal. It takes longer for fights to break out.
Yeah.
So
have you ever watched
nice.
Dr. Stone?
I have not. I've not really watched a lot of. I don't really watch a lot of content, I guess.
Okay.
In general.
Yeah, I think if you like the aspects of Full Metal that you were saying that you enjoyed, I think you would enjoy Dr. Stone. If you ever look for like a new anime to watch.
I haven't watched FMAB since I came back, so it's been a week almost since I've seen an episode of it. But that's only because I was watching it when I was at my parents' house, and I didn't have my computer or my setup or anything, so I was completely not working on any content. Like, I got nothing to do. I'll watch an anime. And now that I'm back in my studio, as I like to call it, I have so much other things that I can just do, and my brain won't let me watch anime.
No, because it means like shutting off your brain for like a period of time.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to do it.
When I want to watch anime, I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm gonna just be sitting there watching it.
Yeah. I was watching. So before like, I got big into Twitch. I was watching anime on my Switch during the day, and then I realized I can only watch dubs. Right? There's no chance I can work and watch
subs. Yep.
It just wasn't going to happen, and I wasn't going to learn Japanese quick enough to not have to worry about it.
Sure.
So yeah, it definitely limited me on like the types of anime that I could watch, and now it's like I don't have the time to watch the anime, like the other animes I want to watch. Like I need to catch up on like Chainsaw Man, for example. Like I'd love to watch the rest of that.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time. Period. As you know, as we were talking earlier, like I kind of like to fill my slots with doing this or that, and I'm always working on my content, or I'm working on school, or I'm working on the internship stuff. So I don't really get myself a lot of time to sit down and just watch something. Probably gonna take some time. I'm gonna do better at that. I think I'm gonna try to make like Saturdays or more of a relaxed day where I'm not, because I know I won't have work, because I usually get all my work done on Sunday as much as possible, and then pick whatever else is up on Tuesday, because I don't have a set time that I have to be there. I just kind of have to submit a certain number of hours every week.
Okay.
So I try to take care of it at the beginning, because the week starts on Sunday. I try to take care of it all Sunday, and then pick up whatever else I need to do on Tuesday. So it's done, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Whereas, by the time I get to Saturday, it's the last day of the week, and I'll be like, okay, I don't really have anything I need to do. I could take my time and let's watch a couple episodes of anime and see what's up. So I'm gonna try that going into this year. I'm terrible with my own mental health, so yeah, I need to watch that a bit more.
I totally get that. I'm trying to read more books this year. That's like massive on my list. And I specifically, like, if people ask me, oh, is there anything specific you want to do for like Christmas? I'd be like something book related, like force books down my throat.
Right.
Because I want to like consume more literature. And my parents got me I can't remember what the name of the series is called. I'm sure it's got like Alara in the name, which reminded me of like Magic the Gathering. But essentially it's based on, so this person was in a forum and he was having a discussion with this other author who was saying like, oh, there's like you can be a good writer. Anyone can be a good writer with a poor. No, anyone can have a good idea and be a poor writer, and it still comes off better than a good writer with a poor
idea.
Yeah, I said that the right way around, I think. And he was like, "Oh well, you know, give me two things, and I'll write a book on them." And he was like, "Okay, Pokemon and the Roman Empire." And so the guy wrote a five or six book series based on that prompt of Pokemon and the Roman Empire, and it became like a bestseller at one point.
That sounds amazing. I want to read that now. I don't like reading it. I want to read that now.
I need to find out what it's called. But once I find out, I'll link it to you.
Yeah, it sounds. If I ever had time, like I don't read much outside of my school books, so and I'm reading a lot of books, so I don't really get a lot of time to read. Nor do I really enjoy it anymore. I actually was a really big book nerd as a kid. There was a series called Warriors, and it's about like cats who are being territorial and living in this area, and they kind of make their own clans, and it's just about their lives and stuff. So I was reading that a lot as a kid, and I read every single book of the series up to a point, and then I fell out of it.
Right?
I slid out of it, but I got older and I started really getting into video games, and then really getting into YouTube specifically. I watch more YouTube than probably anything else. Like it's that and Twitch for me. And if I get to an anime or if I get to a movie or something, it's very rare.
That's really understandable. Like hard same. Like even like editing or like even like my downtime, I guess. And then if it isn't that, it's like Netflix or Amazon. So I'm like I need some time away just so that I can read and just be in like my own, like a different form of escapism, right?
Yep.
I guess like music is like another form of that as well.
I wish I had more time to do. I mean, even if I had more time, I would make more content. That's 100% me. I can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know anything else. It's like content. Must make content.
Yeah, honestly. Like we were talking about before, actually, and kind of like obviously talking about content as well. What we were talking about with like the shorts and the TikTok stuff. I managed to like finish editing the whole thing in like 45 minutes, I would say.
That's not bad.
It's only a 20-second clip, but that's so much better than the 2 hours I was spending doing a 1 minute clip. So it's definitely been like a learning process. I'm really enjoying that journey of like actually making content, because I was going to start off as a Nuzlocking YouTuber. That's where like Voxnuz comes from, like the Nuz is for Nuzlocke.
Nuzlocke, ooh, I didn't know that. I'm glad now I know the T.
Yeah. So Vox is for voxels. So like voxels are just like the art style.
Okay.
Like, my PNG. It's just an amalgamation of the two. In fact, it was originally going to be Voxnuztv TV, and then I just shortened it to Voxnuz.
You made the right call.
Definitely. I was like, this is too much. I'm not saying all of that, but I was more concerned of, people aren't going to know my model is based off substitute, so I have maybe I have to say the whole thing so people know. And I'm like, I don't care if people don't know.
And people definitely notice.
Yeah, and then I've changed it since then anyway, so like it doesn't really matter. And like I'm getting a webcam in like 2 weeks.
Nice. What'd you go with?
I went with the Elgato face cam.
Okay, that's a pretty solid one. probably way above it's way above what I started with. So
Yeah, like as like technically like a first webcam other than like stuff from like MSN Messenger days.
right.
Like yeah, streaming wise to start off with that is kind of insane. But I think it's sometimes it is like you do need to spend money to make money, you know, or like you need to invest in something that you want to grow.
Right. Yeah, totally.
I'm trying to, it's one of my mod's birthdays today, so I need to remember to call her tomorrow. Later today. Sorry, it's midnight, so it's literally just gone.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that late.
No,
I get
he's
it.
awake, like lurking. In which case, happy birthday, buddy.
I mean, I used
Might even
to.
watch it.
I was very raw when I started. I was back on. I used my phone at the time
Oh really?
for a lot of everything. So, yeah, it wasn't great. It was. I think I had like an iPhone 6 at the time, and was recording off of that, and then I would like connect my phone to my computer and then upload the video file.
Right. Okay.
So it was
okay.
very, very, very. What's the word I'm looking for here? Very ancient technology.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if it's best available to you. I remember people. I think like maybe PewDiePie, but I can't remember exactly. It could just be like some other like anime YouTubers that I remember. Started with like Windows Movie Maker and
Yep.
you know all that kind of stuff. Like, I could not imagine, you know, starting the ball then.
It makes you very resourceful because like instead of like a lot of people edit off of like Adobe Premiere or they'll use like Adobe Aftershocks or they'll get like Sony Vegas or something like that. And I learned off of free software, and I still use free software, and the stuff I make is on the same level as people who use the paid stuff. So I'm like, I'm not like, you learn how to do it and you experiment with it and make it as, you know, as polished as you can.
Yeah, I get that. I think for me, because well, I don't know if there's a reason why actually, but I decided. Actually, no. Okay. There was a reason. It's because I was into like 3D modeling.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I moved into like the voxel artwork stuff later down the line. It's kind of weird, like learning. So, part of my like college stuff was like learning about 3D models and like 3D Max Studios, Maya, and all of that kind of stuff. And then after learning that, then going down to like voxel artwork was a bit of a weird move, but interesting nonetheless. I still enjoyed it. That was the main thing. And so I wanted Photoshop so that I could move stuff, like have like proper textures and stuff, and then move that into another program, which was Substance Editor. I don't know what it is now because it's now owned by Adobe. And that would be used for like procedural materials, or oh my god, what's the word? Basically like imagine like seeing a brick in the game, and like you either have like a brick that's got like a picture of the brick on it, or you have a brick that has like the little crevices and pools of water in it and moss on the side, and that's like these substance materials which you use in like films, CGI films, video games and stuff. And so I went down that route and I started learning like how to do this kind of stuff, and it was like, oh, you need Photoshop. I was like, okay, I'll get Photoshop, and then work my way through that. And it was really interesting. And like literally one of the programs is like, how much water, like what's the water density you want on like your stone slabs? How much reflection do you want on that water? How much mud do you want in that water? And that's like the level of detail you can go into this. And so I was going like pretty full on, and then I tried to render one of my scenes in Blender, and I blew 2 cores in my processor. anyways, 4 months down the line, I got a new processor, and I was able to do 3D stuff again. I was like, okay, I'm gonna like scale it back because that was too much. That was just like overheating my PC and just destroying things. Anyways, because I had Photoshop anyway, I was like, well, I might as well just upgrade to like the full suite and then have After Effects and Premiere Pro and, you know, have access to anything I might need. And then like my emotes I designed were done through, they're all 3D models that were then brought into Photoshop.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. Yep.
And yeah, it was just like finding different uses for like all these things. And now I get to like put those skills back to the test with shorts and TikTok and stuff. So I'm hoping it does better. But we'll see. Only time will tell, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
I'm gonna go on.
I get laughed at because a lot of I do commissions on layouts because I was one of the things when I was starting. It's like I refused to buy a layout because I didn't want to spend money on things that I wasn't getting money from. So I didn't want to take a loss on making content. So I started making my own layouts, and I got to the point where once I started doing commissions, I had to start using Photoshop because if people wanted to edit things, I had to give them the ability to do that. But up until like the middle of last year, I was making all of my layouts on PowerPoint. Like, didn't touch Photoshop. Wow. So a lot of my community members will say I'm the PowerPoint wizard. I would make it look like I use They're like, you use Photoshop for this. I'm like, no, it's PowerPoint, 100%. All of it's PowerPoint.
That's insane.
I got really good at it.
That blows my mind to like a degree you cannot imagine.
I still make all of my layouts with PowerPoint. At least I start on PowerPoint, and then I'll throw it on Photoshop just to like put touches in that I need. But
oh my God.
It's basically PowerPoint.
I don't know whether I should be more impressed or more disgusted. I couldn't give you an honest answer right now, so I'll come back to you on the answer.
The answer is yes.
I will say, it's yes. It's equal parts, right? But I totally agree with you. Like, and that was like one of the other things. Like, I have Photoshop. I will make my own layout. I'm not paid for a layout.
Right.
That might change in the future, and I might decide I want someone else to do it because they can do a different style to what I can do.
That's a big one.
And that's the same with like emotes as well. And so I think, I will commission someone to do emotes for me because as much as I like my emotes, I might want a different style, and I know I can't do that style. Like, this is the only style I can do because that's all I know.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I kind of I refuse to do layouts, like to buy a layout. Like I can make them. I'm not paying money for it. But like emotes and stuff, that's nope. I can't do that. I've made one emote and it's literally my pan, and it's not that hard. It wasn't like taxing. I just put it in my chat. So like it's literally a frying pan on fire, and that's not hard to make.
Oh, I can see. Yeah, that's not
like any Joe Schmo could go and make a flaming fire frying pan. But like if I want to do like a Pokemon or something, like no.
Oh, stone. So one of the things that I was with like going back to like the YouTube stuff with like starting off with like doing Nuzlocks, because it was going to be like in a video format, and I wanted to do animations between like scenes and this, that, and the other. You know, obviously I wanted to like make it look nice, and so my bright idea was to make 3D models of all of the Pokemon that I catch, or all the Pokemon, you know, like the gym leaders Pokemon as well.
Okay.
And so trying to make, or like not getting any further with the game, because I was like, okay, I need to make a Bulbasaur in like this like voxel artwork. Became like really, really tough, because then you get to stuff like, I'm gonna use Bellsprout as the example. You can't rotate anything other than like 45-degree angles because they're just squares. It's just squares on squares.
Yeah.
So Bellsprout has like a tilted face, and like if you just had it as like a 45-degree angle, or just like flat essentially, then it's just not going to look right. And I got so frustrated with that I just ended up bidding the whole project because I don't know how to get around it. My brain just like melted. It was a ridiculous stumbling point. And now, like looking back at it, there's like things that I can do differently. But like that's like definitely a part where like an art style stopping me from progressing unnecessarily.
It's kind of I use what I have, and usually that's like I'll go to Bobapedia for like sprites and things, and I'll find an idea for a background and I'll go from that. So I kind of make it my own in that regard.
Yeah.
But but physically crafting something from hand is not my specialty. I took a Photoshop and Illustrator and stuff like that in college, and yeah, I'm not great at it, but I know what I can do I know where my limit is, and if I try to go something over my limit, I'm like, yeah, maybe try something else or pull it back a little bit. It's not so crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, same. I want to carry on doing like voxel stuff anyway, even after like this PNG tuber arc that I'm going through. So I have I'm hoping people don't redeem it now because I'm saying it, but I have that Who's That voxel mon where I put myself on a 5-minute timer and I search for a random Pokemon on a generator, and then I have to build it as a voxel in 5 minutes.
Oh jeez.
And chat has to guess what I'm building in that 5 minutes. And a lot of the time, like 3 minutes are gone, and I'm still at like the feet.
I think I've seen you doing that before. So I've come in and you were making art, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is different from what I've seen.
Yeah, it is fun. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a fun redeem. But there's definitely a lot of pressure. The thing is, I want to put it up to 10 minutes, but then I'm like, that's a lot of time to take away from like the normal content.
Yeah,
like,
what you're doing.
Content. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have to be like a whole stream where I just do it back to back to back. Like just keep going.
I had it was back a couple of years ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting my things I want to work on is physical health. So you can make me do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, and I did that for a while, and everyone was redeeming it. And I'm like, cool, I can do these, it's fine. And the problem was I didn't have a good face cam. Like my face cam was staying at the same level, so you couldn't see me actually doing the things. I would just be doing them.
Oh no!
And so people got mad at that. They're like, you need to show what you're doing, and I'm like, I don't want to show what I'm doing. Like I'm already self-conscious as it is. I don't need to make you guys watch me do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point where it was constantly being redeemed. I'm like, all right, I'll do it after I get to a certain point in the game. And, once I got to that checkpoint, I would do it. But it got to the point where I'm like, I hate doing this. I'm not going to do it anymore because it takes away from what I want to do on the stream. So I understand not wanting to take away from the content you're doing. So I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to have like someone that can relate to that. And like especially with like workout stuff, like that's something that you have a limit to, right?
Yeah.
Like, physically have a limit to. I guess maybe like cooldowns weren't a thing back then. I'm not entirely sure. That's just me guessing.
Cooldowns were a thing when I was doing it, but as soon as the cooldown was up, somebody would be redeeming it again. So, or it'd be like somebody would come into the chat, and every time they'd join the chat, that was the first thing they ever did. Didn't even say hi or anything, just like, you're doing push-ups and sit-ups now. And I mean, I never got to the point where I couldn't physically do them, but I got to the point where I was away from the game for minutes at a time. Because you're not gonna sit there and do like, if somebody had redeemed it and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna push this off for a little bit. Eventually that builds up, and so I was at the point where I was spending 5 to 10 minutes away from my game doing workout stuff. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I get.
I want to play. I want to play the game.
Yeah, and especially like as like someone else that does content videos as well now. I imagine that time away, or like having that stoppage between your gameplay, affected your like post stream editing process as well, right? Like if you're having to talk about, oh, I'm going to do this later, or you know, it probably takes away from the moment in the game. Maybe.
Yeah, if I don't really record off of Twitch much. I kind of record on my own, so none of that stuff affects it. But if I was doing a recording off of Twitch, the chat knew, and I had like a command rolling that would say, Chaos will get to this after he's not recording for a video series, you know.
Okay.
So it was kind of understood that, you might redeem it. I'll do it when I'm done with the video I'm recording, and then...
Yeah.
Because I kind of knew, like, I was like 30 minutes, after 30 minutes, that's kind of where I want to cut the video, so after that time period, I would then do the redeems that were around, but it then would take me so long to get back to what I was playing, and yeah, I hated it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. It's weird. Like, I've recorded every minute of every stream so far, which I think are all like archived somewhere, as well as my VODs.
Yeah, they're archived for like 30 days on Twitch, and then they go away.
Yeah, but I haven't when I go live, I hit start streaming and start recording, so they're like saved on my hard drive as well as Twitch.
Got it. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever get back to like